The oceans of the world are a warm bathtub to many. Giant splash basins hungry for human frolic. Surely nothing could get in the way of such good, clean, wet fun. Certainly not the creatures of the sea. What gentle jesters they are, scaly clowns performing our daily circus. But is there something else? Unspeakable things, things we can't pronounce, even with our advanced pronunciation skills. Lurking, waiting. Isn't it true that they came from beneath the sea? Sea! Advanced civilizations at the bottom of the water, lousy with gill-breathing arrogance.
The landers are cruel, my grace. Why do these people put anchovies in cans? And what purpose can be served by facial hair? Surely we must flood their cities.
What? See, strange predatory things that hunger for you the way a small child hungers for a doll. See, marine life corrupted by atomic mutation and a twisted desire to come up on land and be with us.
No, stay back. Keep away. Keep away.
See, the hypnotic lure of the deep that has dragged down unsuspecting sailors for years and years. See, giant monsters who want to crush you so badly they can almost taste it. All with one thing in common. They came from beneath the sea. Why are they here? What do they want? Find out from Onyx Path Publishing. They came from beneath the sea.
Now that we know where the converter is located, we can blow it up ourselves.
You fool, you stupid, blundering fool.
But we can do it, I tell you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Saturday night's They Came From Beneath the Sea game for Onyx Path Virtual Gaming Con over on the Gehenna Gaming channel this time. I am your GM, or director, as it's called in this game, for the evening, Ian Muller. I am joined by some wonderful people who I am very happy to have with me for my first time running this game, actually. But I played it. I know it. So...
I got this.
To give you the setting, because They Came From Beneath the Sea is very new. It is, in fact, not completely out yet. They Came From Beneath the Sea is a comedy horror game. This is going to be much more lighthearted than much of our normal content. It is based on the tropes of 50s B sci-fi horror movies. So movies like It Came From Beneath the Sea, or The Creature from the Black Lagoon, or a laundry list of fantastic movies that I personally love. Plan 9 from Outer Space, there's one. So I will introduce our cast and let them tell you who they are and who they're playing, and then I will give you a little bit of a breakdown of what They Came From Beneath the Sea is all about. So going based and clockwise to my whatever direction, Jacob Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jacob Burgess. I am a voice actor, a writer for tabletop and video games, and the director of operations for an indie game publisher called Red Games. This evening, I shall be playing Sam Smith, author and philanthropist who strongly believes that every experience is just grist for the mill of the mind. So stories can be baked into bread, which is also a book. Alliteration's important. Cheers.
My God, I hate him already.
I know, it's going to be amazing.
So excited.
Meredith Gerber.
Hi, everyone. I'm Meredith Gerber. I am one of the publisher relations representatives at Drive-Thru RPG, also assistant social media coordinator and assistant art director at Onyx Path Publishing, and social media coordinator at Red Games, an indie game publishing company. I will be playing Cassandra Rose Yen, and she is a deep sea diver, independent scientist, and she's not going to really get along with Jacob's character. I can just tell, just got it feeling in my bones. Nonsense.
Dixie Cochran.
Hi, I'm Dixie Cochran, as stated. I am one of the in-house developers at Onyx Path Publishing. So thank you all for coming to Onyx Path Con. This has been amazing so far. Please keep donating. We've already hit our goal on at least one. Yay. So I actually edited this book. I love this game. It's my first time getting to play it because this game is amazing. And I will be playing Captain Virginia Zephram, United States Navy, retired.
And last but not least, Wes Franks.
Hi there, I'm Wes Franks, or Brother Wes. I am the founder and runner of Carrion Comfort Studios, another Twitch stream with a focus on horror here on Twitch, and a writer and a myriad of other things. And I'm so happy to be surrounded by these wonderful people playing this wonderful game. And this evening, I will be portraying the role of lone fisherman Giuseppe Luca Abadelli, swarthy and one might say sultry, salt of the earth sailor on the good ship of whatever it is called under the great Captain Zephram.
Exactly, one person might say that, and that's him.
My paycheck depends upon it.
Fantastic. So, as you can guess, this is a seafaring or water-related adventure. It Came From Beneath the Sea uses the story path system. It is a D10 system, like many of the other Onyx Path games. So our players will be rolling D10s. They will be creating dice pools based on their attributes and skills. Very, very familiar to many of you, I am sure. But it does have some unique mechanics that I'm going to discuss with you right now and go over so that you know what the players are doing. First one is called quips. Quips are personal trademark sayings. If you are a fan of 50s B horror films, sci-fi horror specifically, quips are things that are often said far too often in these movies, and quickly become a trademark of that character. If you use a quip, if one of the players uses a quip, either before taking an action or at a dramatically appropriate moment, and everyone agrees it was very well timed, they will get a +1 to their next roll. They'll get to roll an extra die. That is essentially it. They're fantastic. We will be using a rules light version of this game, so there's some more mechanics to go around them, but that's the basics. The second thing we are using for this game are called cinematics. It's a little bit more complicated. So, whenever one of the players fails a roll, they will get a rewrite that goes into the writer's pool. I will be keeping track of the writer's pool and let them know what they have. The writer's pool will start with 1 rewrite in it, so you get a little bit of an advantage considering this is a short one-shot. The writer's pool points or rewrites can be spent to buy one of 3 cinematics. Cinematics are something that changes the scope of the game, usually in the player's favor, pretty much always in the player's favor. And once it's used, it goes back into the pool, which is just how I'm doing it for this one shot to simplify things. The 3 cinematics that they can choose from are Kill the Extra, which costs 1 point, so it can be purchased at the very beginning of the game. When the character is about to be dealt a grievous blow, they can spend Kill the Extra, and an extra who wasn't even in the scene before suddenly gets in the way and is horribly, horribly murdered. And, but the caveat there is that you have to mourn their death appropriately. The second cinematic that they can choose from is called Omniscient Narrator. And I think this one is very appropriate for this group of players. That one costs 2 points, and it allows the player to take control of the narrative for a short period of time. They will scribe what happens rather than it being played out in normal play. So they get to control the direction and make something amazing happen. Finally, there's Missing Scene, which costs 3. Missing Scene, if any of you have seen old B movies, sometimes it just jumps randomly and you have no idea what happened and it's never referenced again. The reel is, there's a scene lying on the cutting room floor somewhere. The action stops, it fast forwards, and it can only be referenced vaguely. So you will never know where Giuseppe got that pineapple that he defeated the crab monster with. But he did. So, do my players have any questions about those?
Sorry, how many points was Missing Scene?
3.
3, okay.
So, 1, 2, and 3, you start with 1 in the bank already.
Okay.
And anytime someone fails a roll, you add a point to it, which can ramp up very quickly.
Do we have a signal just so that there's not any crosstalk for when we want to use a quip, or do we just try to get it in there?
Just get it in there, or
all right,
interrupt.
Cool.
And in terms of cinematics, you do not have to ask permission to buy a cinematic. You don't need the consensus of the group. Just say, I'm buying it, and take it.
Okay.
More interesting that way. Plus, they just go right back into the pool after you use them, and someone else can buy them. So.
Okay.
In terms of dice mechanics, for my players who have not played a story path game before, successes are an 8, 9, or 10. It's a little bit harder to get successes, but there's a lot of reward for having failures with being able to buy the cinematics. And as long as it's not a botch, there's usually some sort of compensation to failing. So it is designed to be a fun game. That said, are we ready to get started?
I just want to point out that all of our games are designed to be fun games before anybody gets the wrong idea.
Yes,
We don't have
that's
any
fair.
unfun games at Onyx Path. I
That
feel like that was important.
That's a fair point.
Okay.
Okay. So tonight we will be playing a original They Came From Beneath the Sea scenario that I have devised. The opening scene is Cassandra is a scientist who has heard tales of a miracle plant that can cure diseases like cancer and things like that, deep in the bayou of Louisiana, in the swamps. Sam Smith, the author, has also heard tales of something in the Louisiana swamps that he desperately wants to discover so that he can write a fantastic tale about it.
Mm.
But he can't get any of the locals to drive him out, pilot him out in one of their boats to learn more about it.
No sense of adventure.
Maybe it's his personality, or maybe it's the rumors of deadly cults and people going missing in the swamps. But he has found that our endearing scientist has been able to convince a U.S. Navy retired captain to take her out, and he has offered to fund the expedition in exchange for tagging along, which is convenient since, as an independent scientist, you do not have a lot of money, Cassandra. So, our tale begins with Cassandra and Sam traveling to a small town deep in the heart of Louisiana to meet up with Captain Zephram and her crew.
Meredith, what kind of vehicle are we taking? Because Sam is not driving.
Oh, I don't know how to drive.
Oh.
So someone will
Donkeys
have
it
to
is.
take us, or donkeys.
Donkeys it is.
Let's do donkeys. I think donkeys are pretty rad.
Donkeys.
All right.
Good.
Good talk.
Good talk. Good talk.
Yeah.
Big cart, 2 donkeys.
Big cart,
Big cart, 2 donkeys. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is quite a conveyance here. I was under the impression that you could drive.
No, I can't at all.
I see.
As broke as I am, I don't think I have any ways to even get a vehicle. You should know that.
Well, I mean, we could have bought a car. Yes. Well, when you said we should go by ass, I thought you were maybe talking about me, but this'll do. This'll do. Good. Good. Excellent. Okay. Yes. This is fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
It's not much further.
As you are nearing the town, a pickup truck drives past you on the road slowly. The older gentleman driving it, giving you the strangest look as he passes by, very confused about the donkey-pulled cart going down the paved road. As you arrive in town, the locals also give you strange looks, but you're able to find a place to hitch your donkeys and cart up and head over to the docks. These are not ocean docks. These are large lake leading into swamp docks. But there are several fishing boats there, and you know you are meeting Captain Zephram. And Captain Zephram, what is the name of your boat?
What does the audience think the name of my boat should be? I like flowers and the Navy. These are the 2 things I know about as a character. I just want to crowdsource this. I think it'll be funnier. I literally was looking up lists of like flower puns earlier, and nothing was funny enough. Compass Rose. It's called the Compass Rose.
There we go.
Ooh,
the Compass
thank
Rose.
you.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
So you were meeting up with Captain Zephram and her ship, the Compass Rose.
The conveyance that you found for us to head out on our adventure, what manner of meals are served on board?
Have you been on a ship before?
Of course. Many a liner. Cruises are one of my favorite pastimes. Nothing like the open ocean to inspire you.
Oh, this is going to be a cruise that you won't forget.
Good. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Good. I'm so happy to be joining you. This should be good. Smell that. So, what is that smell?
A beautiful, beautiful scent you've never taken in before. It's a new experience, right? Plenty to write about.
It smells like shrimp, maybe crawfish. Yeah, it's definitely some sort of freshwater crustacean wafting through town.
Down here, we just call it swamp.
Oh, hi.
Howdy. Was that y'all pulling in on those mighty fine asses up the ridge?
Yes.
Welcome, Captain Virginia Zephram, U.S. Navy, retired.
Good captain. Good captain. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Sam rocks up and extends his hand.
Shakes hands, spits. Nice to meet you.
Delightful. All of my accessories are on the cart. If you'll just see them to my cabin, I'd appreciate it.
Giuseppe,
Yes, Captain.
put this man's fancy things under a tarp somewhere.
Under the top. Okay, do you want it on the good top or do you want it on the crawdad top?
Paying money, might as well use the good tarp.
Good top it is, Captain. Excuse me, sir, my lady. Pleasure to see you. Nice to meet you.
This is Giuseppe. He's my crew.
Hello.
Pleasure to meet you.
Good afternoon, Giuseppe Luca Albedelli. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And what a lovely name you have.
Thank you. My mother was Italian.
I can tell.
I'm certain.
Now, Cassandra, you know that you should probably pick up some provisions before you head out on this expedition.
Yes, because Lord knows that the fancy things are not going to be provisions.
No.
So, yeah.
No, it's a big chest full of booze.
Oh, that's some provisions. So we're like,
You're like halfway there.
A little bit there. So,
this is a small town. It's mostly the families of the fishermen, but there is a general store. There is a saloon, which it says saloon. It doesn't have a name, just a saloon across the top.
Perfect.
Town seems quiet, which seems odd for early morning. You'd think there would be a lot of people out and about, fishermen moving in or leaving rather.
So I will go to the general store, even though the no-name saloon is really tempting.
In the general store, there's a gentleman who looks shockingly like Giuseppe behind the counter.
Do you work at the docks?
No, that's my brother.
Oh.
Completely different accent, by the way.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I want to clarify that.
Even better.
Oh, yeah.
Even better. Well, my name is Cassandra, and I'm here to pick out a couple provisions for our trip.
And where are you going?
Just on a nice vacation. It's going to be a good time. Hey, question. Why is it, where is everybody?
Oh, there's been some, there's been some missing people around town lately.
Cool.
Some rumors of people getting kidnapped and taken into the swamp, but no one I know is missing.
I go to the door and I open it and I go, Sam!
Yes?
Do you want a story?
Of course I do.
Wonderful. I have to pick provisions. You just talk to this lovely gentleman.
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Produces one of those like old flippy notepads from nowhere with the tiny little stub pencil and just pretty much just books it incredibly excitedly over. I heard something about a story here.
Sure. Yes. You two just talk. You seem like you'll get along great.
Excellent.
As I mentioned, he looks shockingly like Giuseppe.
Not Giuseppe. And then I turn and start picking stuff off.
Quick look at the shopkeeper, quick look like back towards the docks.
Where you see Giuseppe picking up a box of one of your boxes, like just dragging it along the ground towards the boat.
Shallow gene pool. Yes, so a story. Hi, my name is Sam Smith, author at large and philanthropist. I am the financier of this wonderful, wonderful expedition. And my compatriot said that you had a story. I'd like to hear it.
I don't know. What do you mean story? She asked why there weren't a lot of people, why the town was so quiet.
They're missing.
There are missing people. I'm certain they're missed dearly. Tell me about them.
As the game master note, this is why you were here, because you have heard about this.
My memory is terrible. Tell me about them.
Well, I guess that the biggest issue has been that they've mostly been out-of-towners like yourselves, people traveling through, people, merchants, those folks, heading out. He points up the road in the opposite direction that you came from. Mostly people passing through the swamp.
Do people often come by and pass through the swamp?
Yeah, this town is actually on a major route through, but it's basically like people stop to get gas and that's it.
A way station. Yes. Excellent. Excellent.
My brother thinks that there's some sort of suspicious folk living in the swamp, but he spits. That's just crazy talk.
I'll have to ask your brother about that.
Great. We have all the provisions. Thank you so much. Here is some money to cover that, and it's been great talking to you.
Yep. He starts counting
Shoving
it.
Sam out the door. I'm like, great, let's go. Let's get moving.
He just immediately starts counting the money. He doesn't even acknowledge you leave.
TCfB.
Oh, yeah, Captain.
Did they just go to buy their own supplies they didn't bring with them? Are they ready?
I assure you we're ready now.
If I could tell by the short stock of the one with the scarf, he seems not quite capable as much as the other one, the fine lady that seems that she has been to schooling of some sort.
What a fascinating observation. When do we leave?
Whenever y'all want. Y'all's paying.
Sam?
Time is a gift, and there's none
Great,
like the present.
fantastic. Thank you. Let's go.
Gonna break me.
I'm aboard.
Yeah. You climb aboard the Compass Rose, and Captain Zephram, you have been informed of the general area that they want to go in, but it's basically deeper into the swamp, which isn't too specific. You know this area very well, having lived here for some time, as does Giuseppe. So you are able to navigate very, very quickly through the narrow through the lake, to the more narrow portions where it gets much swampier and much denser with vegetation, like Wes's background.
And just to set the stage, this is not like a fancy boat. This is like a bit of a rust bucket. I clearly bought it for fun when I retired.
Awesome.
Like, there's like one room underneath. So the cabin we were looking for is just one room with some bunks and stuff. Yeah, it's not great.
I'm into it.
There's some benches on deck, you know.
Sam, how are you feeling about this boat? Is this what you expected?
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm so glad we're opening you to new experiences.
As am I. Grist for the mill of the mind, as I always say.
She's a great little machine. Runs on pure diesel.
Wonderful.
Here, just chugging. Yeah, it's a good thing we're not out trying to catch anything. This thing makes a lot of noise.
We're trying to catch inspiration.
Well, you can catch that with noise, right?
Yeah, we can, actually.
That and alligator gar. They love the noise. They just come right up to the boat and you just grab them. Tough cleaning, but good eating.
I'm going to not do that with all haste.
What are you going to be eating for dinner then, Fancy?
I think we got some tack.
What did you bring?
You brought the supplies.
Yes, I brought the supplies, but what did you bring?
Did you only buy for yourself? I'm financing this expedition. You're going to let your employer go
Of course
hungry.
not. I would never do such a thing. I'm just asking what you brought. I am curious as to what is in your trunks.
Oh. Well, alcohol.
That's it?
Yes. One always brings their own alcohol on a cruise.
That's very kind of you, actually.
You're welcome to some.
Oh no, I think I'll be fine.
Oh,
want to keep an iron mind while I look for this wonderful, wonderful miracle plant.
Sam literally has this tiny little cup.
Yeah,
Yep.
awesome.
You know, once we get into the swamp, it's less of a cruise and more of a slog.
Delightful.
Right around
I
that
can't
point.
with the pauses. I can't.
Right around that point, you feel the rotors of the engine rotor churn into muddier water, and the boat immediately starts to slow down.
Uh-oh, looks like we got a live one, Captain. That's a quip.
Oh, it's a quip.
Please say that's a quip every time you say one of your.
That's it. That's a quip. That's a quip.
No, that's perfect. That's actually very convenient.
Yeah.
So I think we can all agree that that was very well done.
100%. 120%.
110%.
You get to roll an extra die in your next roll.
Perfect. And I am immediately going to go to the back of the boat, and I'm going to see what's got all tied up in the rotors.
You've been through this section many times. It's very strange. There's, it seems like a large amount of vegetation wrapped up in it. Vines and thick seaweed. Not seaweed.
I'm going to go ahead and take like a net or a long stick. I'm going to try my best to try to clear it out.
Mm-hmm.
Try to ungum up the works.
All right. So
What's going on back there, Giuseppe?
Oh, it's just some vegetation and such, Shan. Nothing too bothersome, not too much. Nothing old Giuseppe can't handle.
I didn't know you knew the word vegetation.
I've been reading well, I forgot the name of it, but I've been reading a little bit.
We got a plant scientist. You should get her to come look at it.
Do you want me to come look at it?
You are more than welcome to come look at this vegetation.
You.
I think you should go look at it.
I'm going to go look at it, Sam. Thank you so much.
Keep using that word, Giuseppe. It sounds good coming out your mouth.
I'm a big fan of vegetation.
Romance blooms on the bayou.
Son, he is young enough to be my grandchild.
There's such thing as a January-December romance?
I am a happily married woman. You will not dishonor my Bobby talking like that.
I wouldn't dream of it. My mistake. I'll keep drinking.
Giuseppe, why don't you give me an athletics and might roll?
I can do that.
And Cassandra.
Yep.
You come over, and it's you're not overly familiar with swamp plant life, but it just seems like natural underwater vegetation to you. Just maybe got caught in a clump of it.
Okay, nothing weird.
No.
Nothing miracle looking.
No, you know what you're looking for.
I know.
That plant has been described to you very well.
Just want to make sure because it was miracle looking.
Getting all wrapped up in the engine.
It's just wrapped in the engine. That's the game. We found it. Great. Good night, everyone.
I should have hit the
It's a miracle.
I should have hit the be right back screen. Just
boom, done.
I did say this was a comedy game.
Yeah.
And I might have one or two regrets about this group playing it at this point.
We're the best group, Ian, please.
Yeah, I'm just
hot out
laughing
here in this
a
bayou.
lot. Yes.
I can't.
This group provides a lot of vegetation.
We're a very vegetative group.
So
vegetation and miracles. All right, let's do it.
Thanks to that extra dice roll I had, I got 1 success.
Awesome.
Well, that is enough. You are able to carefully clear that out without doing any damage to the engine and or the motor, and clear it up, and you're sailing clankily along afterward.
You gotta watch out for them vines there, miss. They're all over the bayou. One time, my brother Vincenzo, he tied me up to my bed with it, played a mean old prank.
Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Wasn't that a time you got that rash all over you told me about?
That's correct. That is correct. He also took some algae from the bottom of the dock and kind of rubbed it on my belly. It lasted for about 2 weeks.
I take one very obvious step back.
Oh, no, no worries.
No, that's okay. You know what? We all need space on this boat. It's a small boat. So let's just be apart as friends.
Social distancing.
Social
You're my
distancing.
only friend here.
I don't know. They're 6 feet apart on this boat, but we can try. Luckily, if we do ever get tangled up, there's some oars, so y'all at least be able to help. It's a lot easier with 4 people than 2.
Much agreed.
I do miss the oceans, though, being out on those open waves. It's not quite the same here, but the gardening's great. That's why I'm retiring here.
You're not the only one who misses the sea.
I can never go back to the sea. Not after everything I've seen.
Well, this is delightful.
So you're a plant scientist. What are your favorite kind of plants? What kind of plants you study? And I love plants.
Oh, what am I studying now, or what have I just studied overall? I mean, all sorts of, as Giuseppe says, vegetation. There's been just the regular flora, and of course, finding new and interesting herbs to mix for medicine. So there's a lot. But this one specifically is hopefully going to put me on the same wave as you, Captain, and I will hopefully be able to retire.
That's wonderful. I'm definitely trying to get out of here. This will be the last paycheck I take before I retire. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Where are you retiring to?
Just my little garden down near the swamp.
Yeah?
Beautiful soil. Lots of loam.
Oh, fantastic. I would love to see it sometime if you don't mind when we get back.
Of course. Did you say you went to school to learn how to make medicine out of plants?
Yes, I learned. I went to school to learn how to make medicine out of plants. You bet.
That's something my grandmam could have taught you for free.
Oh, had I known, Captain, I would have rushed over to have that happen. But maybe I can get my next degree with her.
I feel like I'm detecting some sarcasm there, Private. I ain't stupid.
No sarcasm at all. Completely genuine.
Well, if you're writing a book on it, I got a little bit of a medicine tip for you. Sometimes if you get bit by a wasp or a bee or a yellow jacket or a hornet, then you just take a little bit of tobacco, put it in your lip there, let it soak up, and then you just put it right there on the bee sting. Cure it right up.
I will, I'll put that in my notes, Giuseppe. Thank you so much.
It works.
I'm sorry, Captain. What was the name of the boat?
The Compass Rose.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Sam's log, day 1. Trapped on the Compass Rose.
Do you say that out loud, Jacob?
Yeah.
You don't gotta talk while you write,
It helps me focus. That's not actually what I'm writing. It's much, much different. I don't know if I'll survive the day.
It's okay. When I'm reading them books, I read out loud too. Helps me with the words.
All right.
I'm certain it does. And you know what? I will send you a copy of a couple of my books. One of them has pictures.
Captain?
Once again, we ain't stupid.
Of course not.
City boy.
Sam is just trying to be nice. He's trying to be kind.
I didn't think you were stupid, Captain. I would never suggest that.
I understand what inflection is, too.
I will have you know at the age of 8 years old, I won a spelling bee.
I was not on the beach in Normandy to put up with some fancy boy in a scarf drinking out of a tiny little cup telling me that my business on my own ship. All right? I'm sorry that I don't talk fancy like you do, sir, but I don't gotta. I'm retired. I'm done. All right? I done served my time. We're getting you out here. And guess what? We've only been gone for a couple hours, and I bet you have no clue how to get home, do you? Nobody would miss you.
No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Captain, apologies. Sam is just very passionate with his writing.
All right. Well, I'm going to go down below decks and tie up his trunk now that I know what's in it so it don't cause a fire. And I will be helping myself to a bottle while I am there as extra payment for his pertness.
I think that's a fair trade.
You seem a man of the salt of the earth. How do you deal with an existential crisis?
Well, the last time I was in a crisis, my grandmammy was stuck in a bathtub. Well, that was back before the Great Fire in town. Now, the Great Fire only really took out the general store.
Ah, you're a wise man. Burn the crisis to the ground, rise from the ashes. Giuseppe, I think I like you.
Oh, well, I'm sorry we got off on the wrong foot of the waiter. I think I like you too there, Mr. Smith.
How about a drink, Giuseppe?
Well, the captain doesn't like it when I get a little bit sneaking into the gin, so to speak, but
Well, this isn't gin, and the captain's not here. And he hands you his tiny cup.
I'm going to take that tiny cup in my hand and I'm going to gesture to him. I'm going to say, here's to you and yours. Hope the Rougarou don't grab him out in the swamp. And then...
Whatever you said. Cheers.
Captain Zephram just comes back up the stairs holding some bottle that's probably very expensive, but she doesn't care.
Oh, yeah.
Just goes and sits,
absolutely.
Sits on a
It's
bench
like-
near the front. Just
It's like a
glares.
French absinthe elderberry blend.
Mhm.
Horse
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
Of course.
100%.
Yeah, it was the biggest bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Consider it a tip, Captain, of and by way of apology.
I already said that, but thanks.
All right.
Also, careful with Giuseppe. Last time he got real drunk, his cousin ended up in the jaws of an alligator, and no one still knows how it happened.
Oh, Captain, it's fine. Sam already said that he will take care of Giuseppe if Giuseppe.
No, like he
has
can
any
drink. I don't
problems.
care. Just watch him.
no alligator problems too. Sam has offered to take care of that.
Are there alligators?
Oh, there's alligators right beneath our feet as we speak.
Have you never heard of a bayou?
He just sits.
If you sit still long enough and let the quiet creep in, you can hear them just lapping up against the bayou.
Well, I'm hoping there's a radio here.
I mean, yeah, there's a radio in the.
Shit, yeah, we like to listen to the game and such. Big fan of LSU football down here on the bayou.
Go
Yes.
Tigers!
Why don't we turn that on?
That sounds great. I'll walk over and turn on the radio.
You get some static for a minute.
Mhm.
Fiddle with the tuning knob. You are able to find the game if you choose to leave it there, but you could continue looking for stations if you wanted.
And of course I'm curious, so I'm gonna keep continuing the tune.
You find a local news. It sounds like someone who might be related to Giuseppe talking, in terms of accent. But talking about some of the local news, they do mention the disappearances that I talked about, but nothing particularly informative beyond what you already know.
Awesome.
You also find a music station. It's playing jazz, and then you find another one playing some more folky music.
I will go for the jazz.
Pardon me, Giuseppe. Do gators like jazz?
Well, that's an interesting question that you posed there, Mr. Ryder, sir. I mean, Mr. Smith. You see, there was one time my grandmammy, the same one that got locked up in that bathtub.
I thought so, yes.
Well, she was out on a porch, which just hangs right off of the bayou, and she was listening to some jazz music. Some Cab Calloway, I do believe. Not a big fan of Cab. I'm more of a Louis fan myself, but different strokes for different folks, as you
I'll take what I
understand.
can get.
Of course. Well then, what does she see through the mist? A thud. Another thud as a shape comes through the
Can't
mist
see a
of the
thud, Giuseppe. You always tell the story wrong.
Pardon me. What does she hear but a thud and another thud as she sees a lumbering shape come out of the mist? Everything's quiet. No birds. No swamp rabbits. Hell, not even them children running about hitting each other with sticks. And she saw it. A gator, about as long as his boat, came right up right by the porch and just sat. When Cab went off that radio, they started talking about the weather. That gator got up off his haunches and just slithered right back into the swamp. So every day, she sits out on that porch, listening to Cab Calloway, hoping to see that gator again.
Cassandra, be a dear and change the station.
Of course, Sam. I would love to, and I like very aggressively turn the station to the next music channel.
The next thing,
Much obliged.
Yeah, the next
Of
thing you
course.
flip through, you go through. It's not. There's not a lot of signal here, and you get back to the game.
Okay. Is this appropriate, Sam?
Do gators like this music? Just a simple yes or no.
It's a football game. It ain't music.
No, but I got about $50 on Parker Boudreaux running it all the way up into that end zone. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers!
Go Tigers.
It's a miracle drug. It's for the miracle drug. It is for the miracle drug. Do things for the miracle drug.
So
Doing an excellent job blending in with the locals.
as this goes on, the you do make your way deeper into the dense vegetation, and it gets darker. The mosquitoes come out, and Sam, you're not familiar with this insect. Never quite had to deal with it living in the city or out on a cruise ship. And you are swarmed by tiny biting gnats.
Virginia and Giuseppe start rubbing like a weird smelling herbal salve on themselves.
I'll say I'll have some of that, please, if you have extra.
Give me that, please.
Yes.
Yeah, my grandmammy made it.
Oh, Sam, are you sure you're doing such a wonderful dance tonight? We would love to see you continue to perform.
That's all right. This isn't the kind of breaking down that I'm planning on doing tonight.
Now, I don't know, Mr. Smith. I don't want it to ruin and mix with your constitution.
It's real greasy. It's got a smell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I hate bugs.
All right.
Once again, came to the wrong place. Have you ever heard of a bayou?
Yes. I've never experienced one, though. And I'm getting a full education this evening. And he's just like getting it like down his shirt, under his armpits, like absolutely everywhere. Stops after about 10 seconds and is like,
oh. Yep.
But you're protected, Sam. Look at that. No more bites, huh?
You are shocked to find that these insects can't stand it.
Keep just slowly, just like,
Well, see, the thing about skeeters is skeeters like to eat people. So if we make you smell like not people, then they don't want to eat you anymore. So we do a mixture of like animal fat and mint and a little bit of, I don't know, just kind of whatever's lying around. Usually something's got a little off in the past few weeks. You know, just so the skeeters don't smell the blood.
It's simple geography.
How very scientific.
I mean, is it working?
Yes.
So it's science. Science works. That's what science means, right?
Yes. It means, yes, exactly that. When it works, it is science. Correct.
Well, I mean, if it worked and it wasn't science, then it'd be miraculous. And I don't hold with that church truck anymore.
Okay.
This is a good day.
I'm having so much fun, Sam. I'm so glad that you decided to fund this trip and come along with us.
Oh, you funded this trip?
I did.
I didn't catch that before. Well, if you funded this trip, judged on the state of your scarf there, Mr. Sam, this would be the first bad investment you've invested in, I'd say.
This is French.
So was Napoleon.
That he was. That he was. All right. Well, I'm gonna go take off now. You know, can't be running in a swamp with about only 3 hours of sleep. You try to get plenty of sleep now, Mr. Sam. You don't want the gators to catch you unawares.
I'll wake you up in 6 hours, Giuseppe.
Thank you, Captain. And he's gonna go down below.
So, Captain Zephram expertly pilots the small craft through the denser vegetation, deeper into the bayou. You, as I mentioned before, have a vague idea of where you're going. But Cassandra, the plant itself has been very, very detailed description.
Okay.
And as has the type of vegetation that grows around it, and you know that you're not deep enough in the swamp yet.
Okay, so we got some time.
Yes.
Cool.
You're able to, you think you'll probably need to spend the night out here on the water before you can get there.
Okay. So I will turn to Sam and go, Sam, I believe this will be an overnight trip. We're going to have a sleepover, and it will be a joyous occasion that we will be very grateful for the captain and Giuseppe putting us on it.
Absolutely. We will. I wonder if there's a regular blanket and a crawdad blanket.
I did not, I don't know.
I can hear y'all. There's plenty of blankets in the chest downstairs. I actually knitted them all. I had to get a hobby when I was in the Navy.
Oh, look how nice that is. Great. So great.
So like for all the like weird fishing and like vegetation and like Cajun stuff you're seeing everywhere, there's like a really gorgeous chest downstairs full of like what would be like your grandma's house, like quilts and blankets that you just would never expect.
I say, Captain, do you have a good blanket, much like the good tarp for Sam here?
Oh, we only got 2 tarps, but I got like 20 blankets. They're all perfect. I wash them whenever I bring them in.
Great.
Just go in the chest downstairs.
You ever considered selling these?
I thought about it when I retire. I'm really more into gardening, but it's a nice hobby, especially when it's cold out. If so, though, the only place to sell them would be the general store.
I'll put you in touch with somebody in the city, if you'd like. These are
sure.
lovely.
Thanks.
More money for more gardening.
On it. I grabbed the one with cats on it. I assume there's one with cats on it.
Sure. Yeah.
Has to be.
Great.
Has to be. Just like there has to be one with gators on it, which I will take that one.
It's like there's gators, there's crawfish, there's like 2 or 3 different flower ones. There's at least one cat one. There's one that has a bunch of like Navy battleships with memorial dates, and that one feels a little weird to you, but you know.
So you settle down.
Tragic backstory blanket.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Backstory blanket.
Unlock it.
So you settle down to sleep for the evening, while Captain Zephram pilots the ship. As soon as you lay down and try to settle in, you realize that this is a very desperately in need of maintenance diesel engine. It's very loud.
I'm assuming Sam has his eyes wide open.
Pretty much
yeah, just the
swamp.
Doesn't help that Giuseppe sleeps with his eyes open too. You can hear him snore, but
just
Sam, I believe we're going to die here.
yes, and our bones will fertilize the miracle plant that we'll never find.
Hopefully, someone will find it amongst our remains.
I'll never catch up to Zachary Blake this way. He's an author I hate.
Oh, why do you hate Zachary Blake?
Because he's more successful than I am.
That's a very
So
strange.
fuck that guy.
Oh, okay. You're I hear you and I understand you, Sam.
We might die here. Might as well confess my sins.
Do you have anything else you'd like to confess to me?
Giuseppe's really creeping me out right now.
He's nice, Sam. You should be a little bit more respectful.
I just knock on the deck and I'm like, hey, sorry, I forgot to tell y'all, don't be worried about Giuseppe. He sleeps with his eyes open. It's a family thing. Oh. They all can't help it. They all do it. He's asleep. He does not know what's happening right now.
See, a scientific reason.
If he has one of his night terrors, though, just rub him on the back and then just lean him back down gently but firmly.
Well, not sleeping tonight.
That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, Sam, new experiences. You've never had a all-nighter before in your writing?
I've had plenty of all-nighters.
Then think of it as an
fact.
all-nighter.
I'm usually incredibly doped up on opium.
You didn't bring any?
Oh, I absolutely did. It's the bottom of the chest.
Did you want me to get that for you? So you can
Oh,
sleep?
no, I feel I need
Sure.
my wits about me. I feel we both need our wits about us.
Okay. I didn't say I needed any.
I wouldn't assume.
Hmm.
If you wanted to, it's at the bottom of the chest.
Thank you, Sam, for letting me know.
You're welcome. He's just dead-eyeing
Yeah.
Giuseppe the entire time.
Cam Calloway.
Go Tigers.
So, Captain Zephyr, you're up on deck.
Mm.
You have a spotlight to shine around as you're piloting. Switching character sheets here because
It's fun.
when it gets late, you can still hear Giuseppe's rhythmic snoring. It's almost a comforting sound at this point.
Yep. I just dropped a cherry in my lap like an asshole.
Cool.
You think you hear a large noise off the starboard bow.
Large like a fish or large like a missile or a bomb?
Oh, no. More like maybe a tree branch falling in the water.
So swing the spotlight over that way.
Dead quiet.
That's weird.
Maybe a gator flapping its tail in the water.
Could be. I'm gonna go ahead and like cut the engine for a few seconds and just like go on momentum alone to see if I hear anything else just in case.
Sam is immediately asleep.
Just out cold.
Yep, just to say.
Those of you
Amazing.
still lying awake beneath the deck, suddenly it's peaceful and quiet, and you can hear the gentle splash of water as it hits the sides of the boat.
Great. I hear
Out.
none of it. Done.
Like a light.
Yep.
Like a light.
Look around with the light, and out of the corner of your eye, you think you might see something shift. Maybe about the size of a gator, probably what it was.
She's gonna reach under the like one of the benches and just pull out like shotgun that she keeps there for just in case. Just gonna hold it.
Keep shining the light around.
Yeah, just keep looking, let it coast for a little while. If it starts to come to a stop, I'll turn the engine back on if I don't see anything. But I'll give it a good 5-10 minutes.
Okay. 5-10 minutes. Your boat starts to coast. Hear a couple logs, or maybe it's a gator. You're not sure. Kind of bump up against it. Starts to come to a stop.
Jump scare, no jump scare. Cool. Let's turn the engine back on. Keep going. We got paying customers.
Suddenly the engine coughs back to life. And you continue on. The evening goes relatively uneventfully beyond that. You had said you would wake up Giuseppe after 6 hours, early morning, with the
If it's like 3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Only 2 hours of sleep. I'm a captain.
Quite early morning. Obviously, this moonlight doesn't quite come down through the dense vegetation, but enough where if you're not looking where the spotlight is, your eyes start to adjust. It would be time to change shifts.
All right. I'm gonna wake him up with the careful patented way of waking Giuseppe up, which is to crouch about 3 feet away with a fishing pole and just tickle his belly a little. Just
just immediately, like, eyes are still open, but you just hear a
good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, Captain. Oh.
Hey, it's time for you to go up there. I'm gonna do my 2.5 hours because I want to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'll get up. If our guests wake up, though, go ahead and wake me up. You know I'm fine.
Of course. I don't mind running things for a little bit. Not at all. I'll go ahead and see if I can scrounge us off some breakfast.
There were some noises last night, but it could have just been some big old fish or a gator or something. I didn't hear anything real weird. Didn't see anything. So just keep an eye out. You know.
Of course. Maybe them gators heard that Cav Calloway playing in our writer friend's head.
Maybe. You never know. Gators are smart.
Gonna go ahead and just like get dressed, which get dressed is just put on some overalls because we're in the swamp, we're not in the city. Just put on some overalls, put on some boots, then put on his slouch cap, and he's gonna go ahead and head up deck. And as he passes by the bunk that Sam's in, you're gonna hear him say, "Howdy, howdy, 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 oh," and then go.
I will get up from bed and just jump down and immediately follow Giuseppe.
Okay, I'm gonna go like right where he was sleeping. We're just hot racking it. There's like only 3 bunks in the whole downstairs, and I saved the nice ones for the guests. So
keeping it warm.
Yep. Keep it fresh.
All right. So Giuseppe and Cassandra go above deck.
Yep.
It's dark. Spotlight is shining. Forward. I'm assuming you brought it down to an idle before you went below deck. So it's slowing down, but you're still moving gently forward. Giuseppe?
I'm going to go ahead and just make sure everything's good, make sure everything's like it looks normal. I'm going to take a deep breath in. Now, Miss Scientist, I didn't catch your name before. What's your name?
Cassandra.
Giuseppe. Oh, Cassandra. That's such a beautiful name.
Thank you, Giuseppe.
Apologies, Cher. Apologies. Would you mind doing me a slight favor?
Sure.
I've got to look after this you know, the cabin and everything, make sure everything's good.
Of course.
But would you mind go grabbing a box? It's a long box. Looks like it could have some fishing poles in it. You might just come lug it up here. It ain't too heavy now.
Of course. I will absolutely do that for you, Giuseppe.
Thank you. Go ahead. Everybody drink if you're playing Virtual Con Bingo.
So you go down and you find the box that
I 1000% open it because I do not trust that it's just fishing poles.
So what's in that box, Giuseppe?
So I've got a trope that's called Tools of the Trade. What you're going to see within it is a very ceremonial looking, like folded up scarf, similar to our writer friends, but it's got like hand knitting into it. It's got Giuseppe's initials wrapped into it. That is on top of what seems to be about 3 or 4 harpoons, a whetstone, and a club. That club's for noodling, and it says on the side of the club carved into it for noodling.
Okay, so I like very calmly close it and lock it, and then just take it up as if I have never opened this box in my life.
Perfect. Gotta go. Oh, yep, that's exactly the one. You got a good eye on yourself.
Of course. Here are your fishing poles.
Oh, thank you. Now, do not be alarmed by what you see in this box.
Oh.
He's going to unlatch it and kind of open it slowly, like it's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Slowly. He's gonna take the scarf out, put it just like so it's draped around his neck, and he's gonna hold up a harpoon.
I bust out a notebook and start jotting down.
And grab a whetstone. And he's just going to start sharpening. He goes, now, most folks around here would just be using fishing pole to catch things to eat. But my family, the Abadellis, well, our line goes way back to whaling. See here, a gator's hide is as thick as a brick. Most nothing can get through it. Unless you get that soft underbelly where all that good meat is. But if you got to get them square between the eyes, You want one of these bad boys here.
Okay.
You know where I got these harpoons?
Where did you get them?
My daddy.
Oh.
But my daddy's dead.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear.
It's okay. He was a mean son of a bitch. You see, I didn't sign up with the captain just because I'm a first-rate seaman. No. There's something out in these waters. It's out here. And it took my daddy. And it took my daddy's daddy. And I'm going to take it.
Giuseppe, do you know what that is?
I've never seen it, but I've heard tales of it.
What is? And I like. She looks very like into it, and she's just like, "What does it look like?"
He reaches down to the bottom of the box and pulls out a very old-looking bottle of what seems to be rum.
Okay.
Like uncorks it and takes a sniff. Woo! And then takes a sip. You want some breakfast?
I gingerly take it and I go. I smell it. I'm sure it's like super, super, super foul. I take a quick swig and I go, "Thank you, Giuseppe. Happy breakfast."
Happy breakfast.
You should tell Sam that breakfast is ready.
I shouldn't I?
Yeah, I'm sure he's starving. He's had such a long night and he's traveled so long.
You mind watching the head for me?
Of course. I would love, I'd be honored.
I don't know, normal, no, bow, port, helm, whatever, head.
The
I'm
head
a
is the
swamp
bathroom
man.
on a ship.
I'm a swamp man. The head, everywhere's the head. No, I'm going to take the bottle and I'm going to gingerly try to sneak down below deck.
Is Giuseppe a agile man, or is he a?
I would say he's a bit more agile. He's more resilient than anything, but he's got a little bit of finesse to him.
Okay.
So not bear at a campsite going down this thing?
Nah.
Okay.
Okay. So
a little bit more ginger.
Yeah. Sam is very asleep, so I feel like you can easily walk over there.
Gonna walk over.
I am like peering down, like just with wide eyes, stars in them.
Great.
Oh yeah.
It's French.
It's been said many a millennia ago, before man walked the earth, there was something else. And what did it climb out of? It climbed out of the water. I'm going to slowly pour the rum on his face.
Tom Calloway.
Good morning, Mr. Sam. It is so good to see you. Now, try to be quiet because our captain's trying to get her 40 winks, if you know what I'm saying. If you want to come upstairs, we've got some breakfast for you. Though it seems you already have some on your chin there.
Thank you, my good man. Well, let's just do that.
Hey, tell me, Sam. You ever gone noodling before?
No, he's never gone noodling. You should take him.
Giuseppe, if you're gonna go noodling, go up top. You can't noodle down here. I'm sleeping.
Oh, noodling is not what you meant. That one I did in Paris. No, I don't think so.
Let's go ahead and just taps him on the belly a couple times. Let's go on up. It's early in the morning. You've had plenty of your sleep. Time to teach you how to work on a boat.
It was my impression that I was paying other people to work on the boat.
Oh, yes, you are paying other people to work on the boat. But wouldn't you say it'd be a great authorial experience? You'd have a real authenticity about your writing.
Giuseppe, tell him it's grist for the mill.
It's grist for the meal of the mind.
Grist for the mill. Oh man, you couldn't get away with this in a novel. That's a quip.
Yes,
Your quip.
yes,
Nice. That's a quip.
That's a quip. That is
Nice.
in fact a quip.
I would like to, because I enjoyed Wes's monologue so very much, I'd like to give him the extra dice.
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Is that acceptable, Director?
I'm fine with it if everyone else is.
120%.
I feel like I'm really just along for the ride at this point.
Yeah, at this point.
Which I'm okay with. So, that said, you go back above deck.
Absolutely, 110%.
Okay.
I wring out the scarf as I head above deck. Let's go. Yes. After you, my good man.
Cassandra, you're more than welcome to check out this showing of fine. And he's gonna take one of the harpoons and start doing squats like they're deadlifts with it and just his overalls. This fine way of hunting for breakfast. But if you do not mind, it would be best for somebody to watch this ship.
Oh, I can watch the ship just fine. Sam, why don't you go?
Where?
It's all around us, Sam. Everywhere. Everywhere you look, every inch of water, every log that could be in that there water is potential eating. And guess what, Sam? The grocery market's open. You just have to grab it.
If that's not a quip, it should be.
I feel like
Yeah.
it really should.
Can we make that a
We
quip?
can make-
Yeah,
we can make it.
At this point, can we just make that a quip?
That's a quip.
Yeah.
That's a quip.
For generosity's sake, I will also bestow Fair Jacob with an extra dice roll.
Aw.
Much obliged.
I'm going to take the harpoon. I'm going to fashion a rope at the end of it. And in a montage-esque fashion, I am going to try to show Sam the ins and out of harpoon throwing. There's not a lot to it. It's just throwing a harpoon, but the aiming with like the finger and the thumb. And you got to make sure that it looks like an L. An L, you know, like in the word loquacious.
Sam is stunned to silence, apparently, that you know that word.
Yes. Just like in the word loquacious. I will give you $100 right now if you can tell me what it means.
That's well, I had it read to me one time in Great Expectations, and doesn't it mean like good nature?
You just earned yourself $100. He takes like his money clip out of his pocket that definitely like has a monogrammed Sam Smith on it,
Of
like
course.
the double S, and the
course.
double S's are dollar signs. And he pulls $100 bill out and hands it over and then tucks it back in.
I take it.
We're going to get along like two kings. Just the only thing better would be two aces. But we're going to get there, my friend. You and I think, are going to be quite the pair. Now let's win this game of life. What the hell is noodling?
So I'm going to try to go through the ins and outs and show him how to throw a harpoon, but also on top of that, noodling. Later on in the day, if we need to, it could be a montage thing. But just the fact that the noodling club is only just to hit the catfish over the head once you grab it.
Yeah.
It's all hands and everything like that.
So, are you actually trying to catch something? And what are you trying to catch?
Yes. I'm going to try to catch catfish for breakfast.
Catfish. Okay. Glad
So you are actually noodling? You've like got your arm in the
Yeah.
water?
All right.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
got arm in the
Awesome.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight through. Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to make 2 rolls for me, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to make a aim.
Okay.
And I'm going to call it dexterity to demonstrate the art of harpooning.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have you roll something else to actually catch a catfish.
Okay.
So, point of order. Are we using it? Because I've been noodling before.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it just pretty much stick your hand in the water like
Yep.
under a log?
Yeah,
We're
until-
not really throwing a harpoon.
Yeah.
Harpoons are more for gators.
So
They
what I'm
use-
going to tell
yeah,
you
doing
right
two
now.
things.
So what I'm going to tell you right now is, Sam, you're going to be there with that harpoon and make sure nothing sneaks up on Giuseppe. Okay? Have you ever killed before, my man?
We don't talk about that.
I can tell by the look in your eyes. You've seen some shit. So if anything sneaks up behind me, you just jab it real quick. Now, the ins and outs of noodling is... that is 1, and I got a 10. Now, do you reroll 10s? Are the 10s exploding? And they come from beyond?
Yes.
Exploding
Okay.
10s.
They came from beneath.
They came from beneath, so not from beyond. Yeah, they came from beneath.
That's tomorrow.
Different games.
For
No.
different people. Yeah.
Different games. No.
Okay, so that is 3 successes.
Okay. So was that for the noodling?
That was for the first initial roll.
Okay, so
Roll
that
for
was
noodling.
fantastic. You are quite adept at this, and very quickly catch your prey. Now I want you
Does
to
that
give
hurt?
Yeah.
The first time.
Now I want you to roll a close combat and might roll to.
Ooh. Okay, it's not gonna be as good. I'm more of a harpoon kind of guy, but that's okay. That's okay. That is a 10. Just a 10.
Just 110. Okay. Fine.
Just 1
Go
10.
ahead.
Yep. So 1 success.
Fantastic. That is enough since it's already
Okay.
attached itself to your arm.
Mm-hmm. Just show you real quick. Now you're gonna want to get it on center mass. Not too high up, you're gonna hit your own arm. Not too far back, or you're gonna break its back, and it could rupture the intestines and just spoil the entire meat. So you want to get it right there, right there. And you see it? It's gone limp now.
I see it.
Now, Sam, is this your first time noodling?
This is my first time doing what you call noodling.
Well, I'm gonna do something that my Diddy did for me, for you, for your first time. I'm gonna take the catfish. We're gonna get back to the boat, lay it on there, and I'm gonna pop out one of the eyeballs, and I'm gonna hold it out to Sam. Like, Sam, happy birthday. You're a man now. Take and eat.
With a shaking hand, just staring straight ahead, like at the eye, and then like locking eyes with Giuseppe, who's just
crunch. Keep it in. Keep it in. Hot damn, we're gonna make a swamp boy of you yet. And he's gonna take Sam in a big old hug.
I'm a man now.
What a beautiful moment.
And he just like hugs you back.
Cassandra, you want one of these bad boys?
Of course, I would absolutely love it.
I pop out the other eye.
Yeah.
And for our helmswoman,
I eat it without the negative reaction that Sam has. I say, see, it's fantastic.
it's a little bit of swamp cuisine. And Giuseppe's gonna spend the rest of his time just letting Cassandra take control. He trusts her. He knows he can tell when he meets somebody that they're good, they're shipshape, and he's gonna go and clean the catfish and get it ready for breakfast.
Fantastic. So, Sandra,
Yes,
you actually have experience on boats.
I sure do.
So you are able to pilot. It's not quite the same as being on the open ocean where you would be diving, but you're able to navigate around fallen logs, at some of the denser clumps of vegetation.
Mm-hmm.
As Giuseppe is preparing breakfast, stronger light does start to filter through the vegetation, and as the sun is rising up strong enough to light your way, and you're able to turn off the big spotlight that was guiding you.
Okay.
Captain Zephram, you'd probably be waking up around this time.
To the beautiful smell of catfish cooking on the deck. Yeah.
How are you cooking the catfish?
Oh, it's a very simple. Have you ever had blackened catfish before? Within that same box, there is a little shaker tin of spices that says Meemaw spices on it, of which he has almost reverently, and he's put like the scarf back on and everything like that, taken and coated one side of the catfish with it to blacken it upon this little grill that he has on the back deck, which is just an old metal barrel that has a grate over it that he puts
Also, if that ever goes out, you just take the griddle and put it on the engine, and it cooks up great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Takes some of that, and then takes a little bit of grits that's got in a can, and then takes like another like a metal tin cup, and then cooks a little bit of grits to go with the catfish in the tin cup. And then there you go, take it.
Okay. So Captain Zephram smells it.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes up the stairs. The sunrise is a big stretch. Everyone's kind of quiet for right now. And she goes, "Oh, I see someone became a man.
I'm a man now."
I see someone else seems to want to be a shipmate. Doing a good job there, plant scientist. Fancy boy. Oh, okay. All right. I can work with this today. All right.
I'll be happy to tell you, Captain, that Mr. Sam caught that catfish all by his lonesome. And just goes and like winks at Sam. Looks back over at her.
Yes, I did.
You know, she's not a bullshitter, but she understands the importance of saving face in front of the higher ups. And so she just goes, "Oh, that went quicker than I thought. Good job, Mr. Smith."
I noodled it.
Oh, did you?
Resoundly.
That's a resounding noodling that catfish got.
Just
Sure
like
is.
that one night in Paris.
I'm looking. I've been to Paris, but not under the best circumstances. But I look forward to eating your resoundingly noodled catfish with some grits.
Yes.
Thank you for being such a good provider, Mr. Smith.
It's my pleasure. I need a moment. And then he just like goes down to the, down below decks and just grabs another bottle of booze, just whiskey, just. Yep, he's just sitting there like staring into the middle distance, into the darkness, everything else happening around him, just going, "I'm a man now."
On that note,
good halftime party.
I need a minute.
Good halftime. Good 5-10.
I need to go outside for like 5 minutes and
5-10.
just like shake.
5-10.
10. Let's go 10.
We're going to take a 10-minute break, folks. Don't go anywhere. We will be back. I will let these people do whatever they want for the rest of this.
Yeah, well, like we could just roleplay this thing forever.
Playing an adventure. We just did like
Ian, you put this together.
I'm going to say this once. I was worried earlier this week, but I didn't do enough planning.
Oh.
I realize now I did too much.
Into your plan, right?
Yes.
There's an end to this?
There is. There is a story. We will get to it when we come back from break.
I think we're supposed to fight a plant creature at some point.
Oh, we're gonna get there, God willing, if the swamp don't rise.
All right, we'll be back in 10.
Swamp don't rise, boy.
we're back.
It took us a minute to get ourselves together. We're not gonna lie.
I needed to be able to feel my face again.
Yeah.
And stop crying from laughing too hard. So, where we left off our good partying adventures deep in the Louisiana Bayou, Giuseppe had just made some breakfast, and Sandra had proven herself a capable helmswoman, and Sam.
Sam's a man.
Finally.
He's a man now.
Are you with us, Sam?
What? I'm a man now.
Where do you go from here? Do you enjoy a nice breakfast of blackened catfish and grits? Do you spend your rest of your morning down in your bunk drinking whiskey?
I'll even make a point to leave a plate of catfish and grits for them. Just like, I understand, I've been there before. That kind of that mentality. So
yeah, you were like 11 though.
Yeah. But I'm going to do the same thing that my daddy did to him. I'm just going to leave the plate at the bottom of the stairs. Hey, it's okay there, champ. You're going to be okay.
He'll just take it from you and then just like catfish and grits by the hand.
Yeah. What they don't tell you is that grits is the 6th mother sauce. You got to dip it in. Yeah.
This is really good, Giuseppe.
Thank you. It's my grandmother's recipe. Now you just sit here, kind of take the edge off a little bit. We're going to be up here for a little bit, so if you need anything, you just ask an old Giuseppe, okay?
Thanks, Giuseppe.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're
2
a
kings,
champ.
you and I.
2 kings. We're just looking for an ace. We make quite the pair.
Yeah. I'm going to take a big old deuce later.
Go back upstairs. I'm just going to look at them two and be like, he's going to need a moment. So you just calm energy for the rest of the trip.
That won't be a problem.
No.
I think Captain Zephyrin's gonna take this time to go have a talk with Cassandra.
Mhm.
Yen.
Mhm.
Yes. Dr. Yen.
Dr.
Awesome.
Yen.
Yen.
So, Dr. Yen.
Yes.
I know you study plants, and we talked a little bit. I know you might think I'm just being, kind of an old lady about it, but I am an avid gardener. You ever heard of the Antarctic Primrose?
I haven't. Could you tell me more about it?
Yeah, it's something I heard from my grandmother first, and then a few folks in the Navy. There's apparently exactly one kind of flower that blooms in the Antarctic. It's called a primrose. It's probably not the same kind of primrose we have here because that wouldn't make any sense hemispherically. But it is the Antarctic primrose. They're very rare, and that's kind of the jewel that I'd like to add to my collection someday. So I don't know if you're talking on this trip, obviously. We're in the middle of the swamp. But if you ever hear of one on your travels or your studies, or you know anything about it or run across any papers, would you drop me a line?
Of course I will. Absolutely.
Thank you. That would be just doing me a right solid. And I'm happy to send you any cuttings from my garden anytime you want.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, I think Sam and I will be visiting more often than not.
Oh, wonderful. I've got a couple of guest bedrooms. Bobby has a grill. We'll make up some steaks and some crawfish. We'll do us a crawdad boil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that Sam is a man now, I think that he is very happy here.
Sam just wanders upstairs and like walks by you with the empty plate and he's just like, grist for the grill, and then just like walks past.
Grist for the grill. He came to it a little late and left, didn't he? How do you know him, Dr. Yen?
He wanted to write a story. I needed money, and that's how that came about pretty quickly. So he's funding this trip to find my miracle plant. And
what does miracle plant do?
hopefully this plant, if we find it, will open up new avenues to medicine and new options for people to take to heal, to hopefully heal large things.
Like we talking like wounds, cancer, broken bones?
Probably cancer. Hopefully. I have to get a sample of it. It's just
gonna help
rumors.
me grow a beard.
Yes, Sam, it's going to help you grow a beard. Also help Sam grow a beard. That's my number one priority.
I can't grow one, you know.
Sam, I know you told me 4 times on the way over here.
Yeah.
I got one more question. If it's personal, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get personal here. Why'd y'all come in on a couple of donkeys?
Oh, we had a miscommunication.
Okay, because most of us have trucks and cars and...
Yeah, I can't drive, neither can Sam, and we failed to mention that to each other, so we came on a couple of asses.
There aren't actually a lot of donkeys in the bayou. It's mostly trucks.
It's very hard to find, very expensive.
And that was the choice you made. All right,
Yeah.
all right. I respect that. You made a choice. You stuck to it.
Yep,
It was can't fault anybody for that.
It was a choice.
All right.
I hope
Whether
Beckett
y'all
1
in
and
the
Beckett
war,
2 are going to be okay.
yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be fine, Sam. Don't worry. We're going to go back to them soon, okay?
Who's going to feed them?
The
Probably
stable hands.
Giuseppe's brother.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. Everyone in that town is going to love them because they don't see donkeys often, and they're going to take care of them. We're going to go back, and we're going to say hi to the donkeys, and they're going to be just fine, Sam.
Yeah, as long as no one's hungering too bad.
Hey, Giuseppe, are donkeys good eating?
Well, that reminds me of a story that I had back from my uncle. He was in the big one, you know?
The first one or the second one?
Oh, yeah, the first one. So there he was. He was in the middle of Arkansas, and he was hunting down some razorbacks. You ever heard of a razorback, Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hunting down a couple of them. And then
They're
he
cars.
was... Oh, no, sir. They might be a car where you come from, but where we come from, they're hogs.
They're just big old feral hogs, sometimes running packs of 30 to 50. Terrorize towns.
Huh.
That's right, Sam. And he was hunting them down. But he found no hogs that day. All he found was a broken leg and stranded out in the middle of the Ozarks. And all he had next to him was old reliable Patricia, his donkey. He named his next daughter my sister Patricia after that donkey and her sacrifice.
So
That's
donkeys
why-
are good eating?
I take the bottle from Sam and just start drinking.
We're not advocating eating ass down here in the swamp, but if you gotta eat ass, you gotta eat ass. Sometimes it's the only thing available.
I went to Paris one time and that happened. Exotic diets over there.
What happened to you in Paris, Sam?
They're real tender asses.
Good experiences.
No judgment.
Opium's a hell of a drug. They're going to eat Beckett 1 and Beckett 2, aren't they?
No, they're not going to eat Beckett 1 and Beckett 2, Sam. Of course not. They're going to be right there for us, and we're going to ride them right back.
Well, if we have to, maybe you could write some kind of book about it, like a Beckett's Diary.
I could. I'll write all about it. You know why I named him Beckett?
Why's that? Samuel Beckett?
Yeah. He's fucking tough to read. It's tough.
Makes sense.
Fucking Beckett. Hack. Where are we going?
Gonna find the miracle plant, Sam. We have to go a little bbit further, okay? And then we'll go back and see Beckett 1 and Beckett 2, okay?
That sounds
I
good.
will say, looking at the coordinates that you did give us here, Cassandra, it seems that it's real deep in this swamp.
It is,
Yes.
in fact.
It's extremely deep. I will know once we get closer.
And Captain Zephram and Giuseppe, you know that this is much deeper into the swamp than you've gone before. There's no good fishing here. This is deeper than, where you would be going to roll for crawdads. So you don't know this section as well as you would have known the other one. It's going to require a little more vigilance when it comes to navigation.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to ask for a roll from Captain Zephram. Why don't you give me a...
Why didn't you give me any dots in pilot?
I didn't make these character sheets.
Oh, no.
Blame whoever did the land-dwelling heroes.
I just realized that I have no dots in
You're
pilot.
a retired U.S. Navy
Winging
officer.
it. You are
Anyway,
winging it.
I've got 1 dot in humanities,
Actually-
but none in pilot.
I'm certain we could switch some dots on the fly.
Well, I actually want intellect and survival.
I think you mean survival and intellect because story path is skill plus attribute, but okay.
God.
My company's con. I have to make sure the games are working. Ooh. 2 successes.
Fantastic. You are keeping a mental map of pathways through the vegetation that you've been taking, some of the landmarks, specific trees. Anyone who's spent any time in a swamp knows that the trees do grow in very specific patterns and very uniquely through the water. So you're able to keep track of where you are and how to get back out. Sam, on the other hand.
Yeah?
How are you doing? How's Sam doing?
Contemplating a few things. Pretty much just sitting there staring straight ahead, just barely aware of what's going on around him right now. Really having his worldview challenged.
Perfect. And Cassandra, you do start to recognize some of the things that were described to you. The types of the way the vegetation is growing. It's much denser, much bigger. Closer to town, it stays smaller because of the influence of people, but out here it's allowed to grow wild. You start seeing certain flowers and plant life that wouldn't appear in other sections, and you are on the right track.
Okay. So I turn to the rest of the boat and I say, we are on the right track, so we're almost there, hopefully.
You know if we should go any farther port, starboard, anything in particular, or just keep going the way we're going?
Keep going the way we're going. Just we're following these flowers.
Which flowers?
Those.
Okay, those. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain Zephram, you do notice that as you're going deeper into the swamp, those flowers almost create a path. It's as if you can see where they're denser and where they're lighter and able to navigate the avenues.
Mm-hmm.
Seppi, how do you feel about where you are currently?
Well, if I'm going to be completely honest with myself and with you, omnipotent voice, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I've never been this far out in the bayou. I typically keep to the mixed saltwater and freshwater waterways in the swamps because that's where the fishing is. And, my whole intent is to be able to provide for my family, which is me and my 3 brothers and sister. So I'm feeling pretty nervous. Holding them harpoons closely.
Okay, good. So as you continue your journey deeper into the swamp, it does get later in the day, and you have provisions, you have everything you need. Go noodling again if you so choose, but we'll montage that.
Of course.
And it does start to get dark again, and as you flick the spotlight on to help guide you as you continue on your journey, Giuseppe, this time you catch a something moving off in the shadows, just at the edge of the light. It's as if one of the trees bends in an unnatural. Reminds you of how your dearly departed, well, maybe not dearly, but your departed father vanished.
Captain,
Yes, Giuseppe?
move the engine to idle. We've got company.
What do your swamp eyes see, Giuseppe?
Usually I wouldn't take that lip from a subordinate, but I trust you, Giuseppe. We've been around a few times. And she cuts the engine and picks up a shotgun again.
Okay.
Which is mysteriously in a completely different place this time. She just reaches under whatever is nearby and just picks up the shotgun.
It's just there.
Yeah. It's just like there's like some extra right off.
Yeah, a hand pops up holding the shotgun. You grab it.
Yeah.
It's insane for just a second.
Sam grabs a harpoon, but it's the wrong way, so like the handle's up here, and he's just
You gonna shoot the deck there, Sam?
It's a harpoon.
Turn it around, sucker. Turn that sucker around. Flip it.
He spins it 360 and then hugs it again.
You do you. You're a man now.
Cassandra, you mind taking that spotlight over yonder ways?
Of course, anything to help. Like, look at very slowly. I'm obviously not like rage moving it. I'm very, very slowly.
You pan it across the swamp scenery, the trees and the foliage, and none of you see anything out of the ordinary.
What'd you think you saw, Giuseppe?
One of them trees is moving. And last time I checked, trees don't move unless there's wind or an animal or they fall.
Or you chop them down.
All
right. Or an earthquake.
Are there a lot of any of those things around here?
Animals, yeah. Lots of animals and wind.
You know what I'm going to do? Giuseppe's going to go grab a rope, and he's going to tie it to the back of his overalls.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and check out and see what's happening. You know what, Cassandra?
Yes.
Maybe it's not an animal. Maybe it's one of them high society types from Nolans down here to steal your work. Old Giuseppe isn't going to let that happen.
Thank you, Giuseppe.
Sam, you anchor him down. You tie that line off. You can tie a knot, right, boy?
He lets the harpoon clatter to the ground, picks up the rope, and like ties it around his own waist.
Sam,
you're not much of an anchor for old Giuseppe. There's a whole metal bits on the side there. I don't know what they're called. I don't.
I'm gonna walk
onto one of the metal bits.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over to Sam, and I'm gonna untie it and then put it on properly. Okay. And I'm gonna say, "Good job, Sam. You did it."
All right, so Sam, you just hold that harpoon.
I'm gonna pick up the harpoon and hand it to Sam and be like, Samuel, I believe in you.
I believe in you, Giuseppe. You get him, you king.
I'm gonna grab a harpoon, shirtless except for his coveralls. He's gonna slink into that dark water.
This is getting very Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And
It is.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with it. You slip into the water. It is cold for this, shockingly cold for the time of year. It is being only early evening. You're a little startled by that. And as you slither your way through the water, closer to what you thought you saw, feeling the ground, the muddy ground beneath your feet, sinking slightly into it, you get further and further from the boat. Now, Giuseppe, you are familiar with the dangers of the swamp. You lived here your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
what are the two things you have to be most worried about?
Well, you got to worry for them gators that look like logs in the water. And then you got to worry about the snakes that are hanging from them trees that look like vines.
I would have said Bama fans, but good job.
You're right. You're right.
So you work your way around, watching for gators, watching for snakes. And you get to around where you thought you saw the tree move. You see trees, vines wrapped around them. Nothing completely out of the ordinary, but if you were a betting man, that's what I was waiting for. Sorry, my cat was rubbing her face all over my dice tray. Thank you.
Shiva? Shiva?
Yep, that was
Shiva.
Shiva.
I was trying to stop her from knocking it on the floor, and she was having none of it. Luckily, I found all my dice. Okay, so, sorry. If you were a betting man, you would say that that is the tree that moved.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to rear up, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a poke with the harpoon.
See, reel back. How much force do you put into it?
It's not going to be enough to stab, but it's
Okay.
I'm going to test the metal of
okay.
it.
You kind of poke it with the harpoon, and you're not sure if it's the dim light and your eyes playing tricks on you, but it almost looks as if some of the vines shift around the tree.
That's strange. Checkmate, tree. Checkmate. Cassandra, I won't need you to bring the light on over here.
Of course. Again, very slowly, not rage, moving it over.
You get some better illumination on the tree. It appears to just be a tree densely wrapped with vines, with leaves.
All right. Well, I am sufficiently nourished with this information. I turn back towards the group, my back towards the tree, and start walking back.
How's the vegetation?
Oh, it is gratifying, mystifying, vegetifying.
And as you're making your way back to the boat, you feel your feet get tripped up in some of the vegetation under the water, some of the vines, as they wrap around your boots. And to everyone on the boat, suddenly Giuseppe is pulled underneath the water.
No! I yell.
No!
No.
Wordlessly, Sam dives into the water with the harpoon.
Sam, no!
There's no hesitation. As soon as Giuseppe goes down, he's just bloop.
Okay.
Completely deadpan. Just harpoon.
Cold stone. Just.
Okay. Captain just looks at Dr. Yen and is like, he's only been a man for a couple hours. I'm not sure how I feel about this turn of events.
We'll give him 1 minute.
I've been a man longer than he's been alive, but all right.
Ready your shotgun, Captain.
I ain't even a man.
So, Giuseppe, I'm going to ask you to give me a close combat and might roll as you struggle with the vines to unwrap yourself. And Sam,
yes,
can you make a athletics and dexterity roll?
I absolutely can.
That is no successes.
Okay,
Director.
so we will add 1 rewrite to the writer's pool. You're up to 2 now.
And I get that extra dice, right?
You do.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Ooh. And again, just to confirm,
No explosive 10s, correct? It's just
yes, explosive 10s.
Yes, explosive 10s.
Yeah, 10s are 2 each.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Like it's not explosive in the sense that you keep re-rolling, but if you get a 10, it's 2 stresses.
Oh, okay, excellent. 3.
Fantastic. Okay, so Giuseppe, you are just further entrapped by the vines as you feel them moving and wrapping around you. This is not a gator. This is something different. Sam, on the other hand, shows surprising athletic ability as he throws himself into the water and starts swimming strongly towards where Giuseppe vanished.
The benefits of a boarding school education.
Captain Zephram and Dr. Yen, you are surprised.
Didn't know he had it in him.
So Sam, you get to the spot where Giuseppe is thrashing under the water.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I am going to dive under, ascertain the source of the consternation, and attempt to obliterate it.
All right, so you dive under the water and start feeling around because this water is very dark and murky, and it's not very deep. So with all of the thrashing around, it is now also very muddy.
Okay.
And you start feeling around, and you can feel thick vines wrapping around Giuseppe, pulling him deeper into the muck swamp.
I shall attempt to free my erstwhile compatriot.
Are you going to use your bare hands to do that?
No, I have a harpoon.
Okay, so you're going to try to use the harpoon to cut him and pry the vines off of him. Cut the vines and pry the vines off him. All right, I'm going to need a close combat, and I'm going to call it dexterity roll.
Dexterity?
Because you're trying to not... I'm assuming you're trying to not hurt Giuseppe, or are you in not the sound mind to ensure that that happens?
Oh, no, I would never hurt Giuseppe.
Dexterity,
consciously
then.
or unconsciously. Yes.
Dexterity, then.
1, 2, 3. 3.
Success. All right. No, Giuseppe, you can feel strong hands pulling vines away from you. You can feel the vines getting hacked away, and you can also make a close combat and might roll to free yourself again.
Perfect. That is 1 success.
All right. The combined efforts of both of you allow Sam to free Giuseppe from the grip of...
I'm a man now! Just thrashing in the water.
Yep.
It's a long camera take of just 2 men thrashing in the water.
Yep. Rubber
Two
hose
kings!
flying away
Two
from
kings!
them.
Yeah.
2 kings!
2 kings make quite the pair!
And you are free.
You start like hauling, like one arm under him, hauling back on the rope.
Pull me back up on the deck. Pull me back on the deck. I got on the deck. Spit up water.
Are you all right?
Fine. I would not be fine if it was not for my friend. Nay, my brother.
He like puts his arm down to like grab it gladiator style, like pull you back up.
Grab it, and I look at Sam in the face and I say, Samuel, your name is no longer Samuel.
It's Buck.
Buck's good too. Yeah, but your name is Buck now.
My name is Buck now.
Your name is Buck Abadelli. You're a brother of mine.
You know, I can make that legal. We're on my boat.
That's my pen name.
Buck Abadelli?
Abadelli.
It's earlier in the alphabet than your real name and easier to find.
Yeah.
It's like first
Suck
on the
it, Dewey
shelf.
Decimal System. No longer will I be on the bottom of the stacks. With this new name, I rise.
Happy to report, Captain, that there was nothing but vines and trees out there. This old sailor has just got a little bit too much pepper in the system.
Were those vines or were they snakes? Because it looks like you got pulled under. Like a snake does.
I'm merely growing old. That's all it is.
Don't say that to me, kid. Kid!
And as you're talking, and Dr. Yen.
Hey.
You're obviously entranced by this amazing conversation.
Yes, to the point where I want to scientifically study how this all happened. Go on.
And you're standing by the light.
Okay.
And you can just feel it get dimmer next to you. And you turn and look. And this towering creature made of vegetation and vines and leaves twisted all around it is looming over the side of the boat. Moves so silently that none of you heard it. Towering over the boat from the direction that Sam and Giuseppe just came from.
Hey, I hate to break up this lovely, beautiful, perfect moment, but we have company.
The captain from like whips her head around, and there's like a really tight zoom on her face. And she's like, if that's some kind of plant, I don't want that in my garden.
That's a quip.
Is that a quip? That's a quip. That is a quip.
Very nice, very nice.
Just right after.
Perfect.
And the creature moves slowly and just grabs the top of the covering that covers the helm and that area and rips it off the boat.
Do you deny this thing permission to board?
Please say yes. Please say yes.
I'm sorry.
Please say
I'm
yes.
laughing too hard. I obviously deny this thing permission to board, sir.
Well, Buck is ready to fight.
Darn it! Darn it! Straight to heck!
That's another.
There's quips happening all around.
So many quips.
It's a quip.
All right, so the creature rips the top of the covering of the boat off. Sam, what do you do when you are told that it does not have permission to board?
I stare at it. I stare at it, throw the harpoon down, say, right, put up your dukes, because now I'm mad. That's a quip. And then he like rips like off of the, I'm not going to rip my own shirt, but he rips like the sleeves off of the shirt and then takes the like the traditional stance, the pugilist, and then runs at it full bore.
You had a weapon.
Please tell me that like Buck / Sam is ripped like yoked.
Oh yeah,
like,
oh yeah. He actually is
awesome.
He actually is. He is disturbingly cut. Like
wait. What is your athletics?
4.
Oh damn it! I was really hoping you could do that, and like right afterward, I could do mine and be like twice the mass you were. And be like, what? But no, you're actually more buff than I am. So
Ian, let me know when I can act.
Please. So you can act before Buck.
Okay, great. So I am going to go. Oh no, Buck, no. Run and pick up the harpoon and say, "Time for a little elbow grease and some applied sciences," and it's a quip. And run straight past. So much so that I want to run past Sam while he's just doing this the entire time.
Because
with
you
that
can't
harpoon.
run that fast doing this.
Yeah, he's doing this.
My man now. Oh no, Meredith!
Oh no,
Oh,
Meredith!
No!
Ah! Oh.
excited that you hung up.
I was like, I was so hyped. I was like, here it is, this climactic moment for this scientist, and then my Wi-Fi drops. So the real monster is Comcast. Let's continue.
I mean, we all knew that.
Yes. And so by that you mean missing reel.
Yes, missing reel.
Also, are we in the right order right now? I feel like
it shifted. It shifted slightly. It's fine. I'm in the middle.
Okay. Fine.
You're all
back on line.
me.
Back on line. Let's go.
Back on line. Let's
so,
do it.
You charge towards it with the harpoon, and yeah, you.
Okay, awesome. Do you want me to do any rolls? Because I'm gonna.
I do.
Okay, great. What do you want me to do?
So you did use equip. You get a +1, and I want you to use close combat and might.
Okay. Which I think I have like 0 of in both. So
you have a little bit of might.
Tad bit of might. All right.
You do get a +1.
Yeah, which I appreciate. 1 success.
That's enough. You plunge the harpoon into it, and it doesn't react.
So I go, a little help, Sam, with your dukes or whatever, fisticuffs.
Yep.
Oh.
Captain Zephyr.
Yeah. Zephyr, although she has a shotgun, she's actually going to be running toward the wheel.
Okay.
To swing it toward the creature.
Okay.
Because you gotta do that. Right? Okay.
Sam, a buck.
Oh, yeah. So the harpoon is already in the creature, right?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here like this.
I will throw Sam my shotgun as I run to the wheel.
Okay. I will. Yep. I'm going to grab the shotgun, turn it over, and then just wham right up the side of its head.
Why don't you give me? You have to. So it is tall. You're gonna have to. That's gonna be a leap.
That's fine.
Excellent. So
yep.
I'm just gonna have you roll close combat and might.
Close combat and might. Yep. Good. Excellent. 1, 2.
Fantastic. So
2 successes.
Crack it over the head with the shotgun. You don't break the shotgun, thankfully, and come splashing down into the water next to it. Giuseppe, what do you do?
I immediately grab the other harpoon and I aim up with my loquacious L. And I look at the camera and I say, "Looks like we've got a live one." That's a quip.
Yes.
And I foist upon yonder creature the harpoon. I throw it at it.
Yeah, so that's going to be in, I don't know, is that... Let's say that is aim and dexterity.
Perfect. I do have a trademark that is aim, a hunter's aim.
You do.
Okay, perfect. Aim and dexterity. Excellent. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Very nice. You catch it in what seems to be its head with the harpoon, and it reels back and it roars. And the sound it makes is like a storm ripping through the bayou. It's horrendous. It's the sound of breaking branches and water ripped up from the earth. And as it reels back, Sam, you are able to climb up back into the boat if you so choose.
It's falling back, correct?
Yes.
Is
away
it
from the boat?
Away from the boat?
Yes. And you are next to it.
Yep. How many rider points do we have?
2.
Cool. I would like to spend those.
Yay!
Both of them?
Yes.
Omniscient
for omniscient narrator.
then.
If everybody's okay with that.
Heck yeah!
Perfectly
It's at
fine,
the,
yes.
towards the latter half of the game. Heck yeah, Jacob, do it.
All right, fantastic. So as the creature is falling back, Sam, now newly christened and baptized in the swamp water Buck, takes one step to the side, flips the shotgun over, holds it up so that when the head actually when it falls back and the head of this creature, or actually the chest of the creature in its back falls, he unloads both barrels so that it just falls over him like an old Benny Hill sketch, and he just steps up onto the creature and walks onto the boat and just like drops down to one knee and presents the shotgun back to the captain.
All right. So the captain has like wheeled the boat around and kind of like backed it up inexplicably, because you can't do that in this kind of boat.
Yeah.
But it's a movie, so who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
So she's like moved it and like reversed it real quick, which is like, what's that even? And like as they're speeding backward and like Sam steps up, she just takes the gun and she says, "No, you're a man now. You need one of these," and hands it back to him. And then she reaches up to the side and pulls a shotgun out.
A hand pops up holding a shotgun.
Yeah. She reaches to the side and pulls the shotgun out. And she's like, "It's okay. I've got plenty."
I shall name it Giuseppe.
Giuseppe's just like over, just like huffing behind, out of like a little bit out of frame, just like thumbs
Good
up.
name.
And then he looks at both barrels of the shotgun, looks at Giuseppe and just goes, "Quite the pair.
A pair of kings."
And scene.
Isn't there a cult in this swamp still we haven't talked to? Like, there's so much happening that we haven't done. I love it.
There were definitely two options there. From here, you were still looking for this mystical plant that would cure diseases.
Yeah. So that was weird, but y'all want to keep going?
Shit fire. If I had for every single swamp monster I've had tried to stop me, I have never stopped going, Captain.
Yeah, no, I ain't mad at a swamp monster, but I wanted them to have their important moment, and now we can keep going and looking for the thing that we were hired to look for.
Of course.
Sandra,
Miracle plant. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
does that plant not seem miraculous in and of itself?
Nah, it's just a swamp monster. They happen all the time. I could tell you
Of course they do.
dozens of stories about swamp monsters in my family alone, let alone Giuseppe's.
I've had a baby or two in my family lifted up by a Rougarou a couple of times. It ain't nothing.
Ian, I am walking to the end of the boat while they're talking and
Okay.
pick up the plant and investigate it.
You look at the vegetation growing from this
Vegetation
creature.
station, yes.
And
The vegetation manifestation station, yes.
And it's not the plant you're looking for, but it matches the descriptions of the surrounding foliage so closely. You feel like perhaps this creature was guarding or somehow protecting the what you're looking for. So it should be close.
So I turn, I put some of the vegetation like in my pocket and I say, "We're almost there.
Excellent.
Let's continue on."
Already are.
Yep.
Captain
Buckle.
Zephram's looking around and she's like, "Shit, should have made a convertible a long time ago. This is so breezy."
And it is
This is
at
gonna
that
be
point
ace.
when it starts to rain.
Rain never hurt nobody. It's a free shower.
I'm kidding.
People only get mad about the rain because they don't shower in their clothes.
You're very wise.
It's just weird to me. Like, you're okay getting pelted by water when you're naked, but you're not okay with it when you got a hat on. It doesn't make any sense.
If you ain't wearing clothes that ain't worth getting wet, then what are you really wearing?
True. You're wise, Giuseppe. I'm glad Sam's listening to you now.
His name's not Sam.
Sorry, Buck.
It's Buck.
And you travel deeper into the swamp. You make quick time. It is evening, but you are all full of adrenaline from your battle with the creature. And
Me and yourself here are like, meh,
yeah,
like half
okay.
full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fought worse.
It was less weird than a gator.
Yeah,
I had a Lake Placid moment, like, a couple months ago. So it's giant gator, swamp vegetation.
Whatever.
So Buck leans over to Cassandra. I don't like this, but I feel like I have something to prove now. I'm wet and cold.
Oh, Sam, you've proven plenty. You got yourself a shotgun, and you are a man now.
And a good pen name.
Yes, a wonderful pen name to rival your most hated author person. Friend?
Zachary Blake.
Zachary Blake. I didn't want to mention his name to upset you.
Your name does come first on the shelves now.
Comes before Zachary Blake.
Fuck you, Zachary Blake. Let's go get that plant.
Let's go get that plant.
You make your way deeper, ever deeper into the swamp, using the spotlight to guide you, and you come to what appears to be almost an impenetrable wall of trees and vegetation. But Captain Zephyrim, you have been keeping a close eye on pathways through the swamp that you've been taking, and you can see up ahead a place where clearly a break in the trees, and you move your boat there. And as you turn inexplicably thank you, into this narrow passage of trees and vines, up ahead, illuminated by the spotlight, you can see the most beautiful flower you have ever seen in your life, growing from all over the vines. And Dr. Yen, this is the plant that you're seeking.
So I will let go. That's the one.
Dr. Yan, what is that called?
Ian, what is that called?
It has never been fully officially named or discovered, so you are the first people to find it and can name this plant.
So I take it, I take a sample, I turn, and I say, I will name it the buck flower.
I think it should be called the Yan Plan.
I think buck flower sounds a little bit more scientific, don't you think?
I was hoping for the Antarctic Primrose, but here we are.
I think college kids are going to make fun of that name for a very long time.
Why?
Buck flower. Not that many letters away.
I get it, Buck. I get it.
Do you want me to name it Beckett? Beckett number 3?
I want you to name it after yourself, Cassandra. You found it.
That's kind of like Audrey
together. We found together. It was a team effort.
Buckyen.
Buckyen. Great. Done. And I start writing the name out. It's official.
Well, it's written down now, so we can't do anything about it. Author's rules, you know.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you know best.
He's only been a man for like a day.
Not even. A couple hours. We're not even at a full day yet.
I mean, like 12 hours.
And yet, if I look yonder upon that chin, methinks I see a couple of hairs unfurling from them follicles.
It's happening.
Finally.
Your dream.
Oh my God, is that a beard?
It's close. It's like more of like a 5 o'clock shadow, but it's getting there.
I'll
Yeah,
take
but
it.
like it's on a few scant days from a 5 o'clock shadow to a goat like my Nelly. If you can grow a beard like Nelly, you can climb mountains like Nelly too. And produce milk.
I look forward to this day.
And eat garbage.
With what I've eaten, I think my stomach could take anything at this point.
You know, I feel like goats are so well-rounded in the future. They will refer to the best of the best as goats because they can climb and they can eat and they can communicate and they can just produce milk and also spider silk. Like, goats are the best of the best. And therefore, sir, if you are like unto a goat, then you are, in fact, the greatest of all time.
We are all the goats. Let's away and reap the spoils of our journey.
Away we shall. Away we shall.
So you gather plenty of the flour, I presume.
Yeah, no, I'm not just like, this is it, let's go, deuces. I don't need to come back here. No, yes, of course, I grab a bunch of them.
Cassandra, while we're just like, just like grabbing samples.
Like, that's nice.
I'm doing my job.
Do you have enough samples, Dr. Yan?
I think so. I think this will do for now.
And you throw the motor into reverse, back out of this passage.
It doesn't really reverse. We gotta use oars, but yeah.
God damn it.
And you start making your way back through the swamp.
Making my way back swamp. No, I can't.
I can goddamn.
Your return trip is uneventful. You return to town through a montage of traveling and bonding as you've done
Just
so well.
like weirdly playing Born in the Bayou, even though this is happening 30 years beforehand.
Yes.
It's like, no.
It's a jazz version Born in the Bayou.
The
By Cab Calloway.
Yep.
Yeah, Jinx again, Jinx.
And you make your way back to town. The townsfolk have not eaten Beckett 1 and 2.
Yay, Beckett 1 and 2.
Yes!
They live.
I promise, Sam. Buck?
You
Buck,
did.
Sam.
I believe you.
Okay.
And you have explored, discovered something about yourself, Sam, and found what may be a miracle flower, or may simply be something really pretty that grows in the middle of a swamp. That is the end of our adventure. But
Miss Scientist Lady, but you let me know when maybe a cleverly planned epilogue, if that actually did anything or not. Like an update that rolls across the screen at the end of a picture show.
Absolutely.
In true 50s B sci-fi horror fashion, each of you gets your own epilogue. So we'll save the flower for last. Giuseppe. What happens to Giuseppe at the end of our adventure, at the end of our film?
Giuseppe, looking at all that has happened in his life in this past trip and seeing how he has brought a sprout into a full bloom, not just in a flower, but in a man, has decided to turn his harpoons in to the captain and to follow alongside Sam. No, not Sam. Buck in the rest of his adventures. Not only as perhaps a manservant or a friend, but a brother. He also decided to sell everything else, and he still wears a scarf and everything like that, and he's has his own line of pasta now.
He becomes a pasta maker. Okay.
A pasta maker. Yeah.
Perfect. Sam.
Sam decides to, as Giuseppe has shown his side of the world and society, and brought the buck out in Sam. Sam returns the favor and begins to take Giuseppe all over the world to experience everything new. And writes under both names, Sam Smith and what was the last name, Wes?
It's Abadelli.
Yes, and Buck Abadelli. Buck and Giuseppe Abadelli start a wonderful fiction / cookbook line, Sam Smith, writes one final novel entitled The Noodling of Zachary Blake. Ships it out into the world. It is the last thing that he ever writes, and then switches over to his pen name, and they travel the world together as men and brothers.
So wholesome and sweet, and I love it.
Did you know that they have 2 forks? You got one for your main meal and one for your salad meal.
More forks than that, even.
Wait till you see the fish fork.
Captain Zephram.
I think that Virginia goes home to Bobby, and they retire on some of the money that they got from the captain and the scientist lady. And though they see that they, discovered the cure for cancer, all their stuff, they just don't worry about that too much. But they end up trading recipes for homemade salves and things with Dr. Yin for,
Nice.
10, 12 years. They actually become friends with Cassandra. She comes and visits every year or so. They take her and her eventual family, maybe kids, I don't know, fishing and gardening and teaching them the old ways, but also teaching them military discipline. Although Virginia was set to retire, she had so much fun on that trip that she takes trips right until the day that she dies. She just takes tours out right until the day that she dies. She takes Giuseppe's cousins and his brothers and his sister, whoever wants to go as crew out. And she just never got the ocean out of her veins. She thought it'd be done, but never was. So mostly retired, still adventure, dies at sea, I think, after a good another 20, 30 years.
Very nice.
Nice.
And Dr. Sandra Yen.
I am going to say that it was not the miracle drug. It was just a normal household plant that was later found in multiple locations. But Cassandra kept in contact with everyone.
Is aloe.
This is aloe. Kept in touch with everyone on the boat, and would visit the captain and garden, and like Dixie said, switch recipes together. And after the captain passes, the doctor launches her own medical line, but names it after the captain, and all the medical stuff that they shared together, she shares with the world.
They called it Virgin Records. It was a weird name at the time, but they were like Virginia's records of her grandmother's recipes. It was strange how popular it got after about 30, 40 years, but it seemed normal at the time.
Amazing. And that, good viewers, is They Came From Beneath the Sea.
Woo! We have like 20 minutes, so we can just break this down if we really want to.
So, I do want to ask, Dixie, you were the editor for this book.
Yes.
What was it like reading this for the first time?
So I knew Matthew, obviously, and I was familiar with Larry Blameyer. I've been a fan of B-Baby since I was a child. Like, my dad used to show me things like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and the Giant Gila Monster when I was a kid. And so I kind of understood the tone. And so I think that for me, what brought me into this game was reading the fiction, which initially I was kind of like, I get it, but if someone doesn't get it, it's going to be sexist or like ableist or racist or what have you. And then Matthew came in and said, okay, let's add these like notes from the studio to all the fiction, which I'm not sure folks have really seen yet, but they are all in there. And like, it is like obviously some screenwriter kind of descending into horror, getting this from the studio going like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you writing this? Like, what are you talking about? So for me, it was the fiction that really like sold it. Larry Blameyer wrote a lot of it, if not all of it. And Matthew wrote some of it. I honestly don't remember. It's been a long time.
There's a bunch of names. I think John Burke and Danielle and a bunch of other people are attached to it too as well.
But like they all got the tone, which was like if you're gonna say something like, "How are you a lady scientist?" You know that's satire. Like it's supposed to be ridiculous. And then all the studio notes are like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you? Are you sure your last script was staged with fish oil? Like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Are teenage shrimp? Oh, okay. So I grew up with like MSU3K, and then as an adult did Rift Tracks, and also grew up with Elvira, what have you. So like that's kind of where I came from. So when Matthew said he was doing this like 50s horror movie game, I was like, so I saw Attack of the Dragon Gila Monster before I ever saw a teen movie. So if you ever want to talk to me about that, please let me know. And yeah, no, I love the tone, but I feel like I can see where it could be weird if you don't get it. But if you get that, like, we're poking fun at the genre constantly, it's really fun.
Yeah, I tried to avoid some of the more like potentially misogynistic and weird aspects of it with this. Obviously, you were playing a female boat captain, which not really a thing in the 50s, but
the thing about the game is like if you want to make that a thing in your own group, you can. If you want to be like, oh, you're a lady scientist, hello, that's a thing. But also if you want to play it straight and be like, no, it's in the Navy in World War II, like it's fine, and like you're a scientist, cool, like I don't care what your gender is, also fine, because we wanted to make it that 50s trope but not the 50s stereotypes.
Exactly. I think when I played it at Midwinter, we actually had a guy playing a lady scientist, and it was hilarious because we went that more in the satire direction with it, because it was a guy playing it with it, and his wife was playing the dumpy, like goofy sheriff, like completely inept sheriff.
Right.
It was hysterical, and then they fell in love at the end. It was great. Jacob.
Yeah.
What did you think of this game?
Oh, it was great.
I know you are hilarious. Have you played this before?
Thank you. No, I haven't.
Okay. So no. I definitely felt like this was very much up your alley. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then Wes. Thank you.
Thank you guys. No, thank you. Like I've always shown interest in this game.
Yeah.
Like when I knew it was a thing, and like being able to play it and also play it with like choice. But my first time playing this game, I could not think of a greater group of people to play it with.
This was fantastic.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Meredith. Sorry, go ahead.
Go, Wes, go.
No, my stamp of approval is like if anybody ever is like questioning whether or not you should play this game, I will link this exact one shot to them and just be like, half of it was a slice of life anime about a man learning who he was and expedition upon the bayou and like.
I like how this image of Ian planning the game and being like, cool, they're gonna hire a captain, like it's already like pre-done, so we're not even gonna talk about that. And they're gonna like travel to the place. This is gonna take like 5 to 20 minutes, depending on how much they talk. And then I've got like an hour and a half of game planned. And then we just went off on the like travel part.
Oh yeah.
And I wouldn't have changed it for the world, because like, Jacob, you know I love you. We've been friends for a while, but like you as the smug author who like slowly learned to live in the swamp was amazing.
Thank you.
Wes, I haven't played you before. I've seen you obviously on streams, but you, every time you started to tell a story, I was just like, okay, I'm here now.
Oh yeah.
Let's just hang out.
I reached a point where I was like, we're not gonna do. I'm mentally cutting things from the end. I'm like, I'm gonna cut that out because I was like, I'm not gonna interrupt them. I said it in chat at one point. I was like,
did you plan that we didn't do though? Like, how many monsters did we just skip?
About a third of the game.
I've like rolled one roll the whole game.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I cut about a third of it at the end.
Yeah, Meredith, were you saying something? I'm
I was
sorry.
just gonna. No, I'm sorry, Ian. You had a question. You said Meredith.
I was just gonna. I thought Wes was done. I was gonna say, like, I know you obviously orbited this game for longer than I have.
Oh yeah.
But is this your first time playing it?
Yeah, it's my first time playing it, and I remember because like Mike's written on it.
Yep. I thought he did, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
wrong.
Mike Hollywood Thompson's written on it. John Burke's written on it, and like Matthew, and it was very cool because like I saw like all like through the Kickstarter all the different like quips they came up with and the quip cards and like all of the artwork they did, and it was so like out there in sense of like coming something from Onyx Path, and like I was immediately fascinated with it, but I never had the chance to play it, so I was thrilled when you said we're gonna play They Came From Beneath the Sea.
I also feel like folks that know Matthew at all, whether it's on YouTube or as a person, like wouldn't expect this from him.
That's
and the fact that he went like B movie, like quippy, silly, MSU3K kind of stuff for his like actual game line that he makes up out of his head. It's not what folks expect because they're like, oh, Matthew Dawkins, like he's the vampire guy, like he talks about vampire all the time. You're all the vampire books, and then
the gentleman gamer,
right? But he's like, I've known him for a few years now, and like he's my punny, silly, ridiculous friend.
Right.
And that's more what I know him as. He just happens to know a lot of vampire lore.
Right. I think it was as I heard about.
Did Mike just win that copy of They Came From Beneath the Sea?
Yes.
Speaking of Mike Hollywood.
Yeah.
Do we need to re-roll that raffle, or does he own that already for free?
He doesn't.
Cool. Have it.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
I message people to make sure they want it or don't already own it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yeah, I don't have it."
Awesome.
I could not think of a better person for
Congrats,
that game
Hollywood.
to land in the hands of.
I am perfect with it.
Hollywood, the first time you run that game, you give me a call. I'll be there in a heartbeat. I'll quit my job. Like,
oh my god, I want to play in a Hollywood run. They Came From game.
I like all the other ideas that I've heard on the Pathcast, just like the ridiculous like They Came From Beyond the Stars or something, like all the other like spin-offs that could possibly happen from this.
They came from under the bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the Wild West one?
That's actually being talked about. That was in our Onyx Path newscast this morning, where
I haven't watched that yet.
the thing that I will repeat from that is that the issue with that one is that coming up with a title that isn't really dirty is very difficult. Like they came on a horse. they came from
they came from over
desert.
Yonder.
They came at high noon.
Oh God!
They came from the
really got to get your timing down for that.
Yeah, no, we have brainstormed this stuff, and it's difficult. But no, I think that Wild West game actually, I think that they're trying to do like in a Blazing Saddles kind of way.
That's one of my favorite movies.
I definitely think that like this opens up a whole door, like you said, like coming up with different things. Like this has got a whole like thinking of like marketing wise. This has got franchise money. This has got Fast and the Furious money. Like this
franchise money.
Is franchise it franchise. No, but like I could see like this is like you could have a swamp game or underwater game. There's longevity. I can think of like They Came From Within the Ice. You have like an ice exploration thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something like that. Like,
so you mean The Thing?
The Thing. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. Or whatever The Thing was before The Thing. I can't remember.
The Thing from Outer Space.
The Thing from Outer Space. I guess.
Which was a 50s B movie.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, like we just did a whole 3-hour campaign. 2.5 3 hours. And we didn't use a single cinematic.
One.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But like we didn't use any like kill the extra, like super weird kind of mechanics. And like that's why I love this game so much, just because it lends itself to just kind of going with the humor. Like what I've talked to Matthew about, so I wrote on They Came From Beyond the Grave.
Yep.
And what I talked to Matthew about with that one was like, I get to indulge every stupid joke I make in my head when I'm writing like actual horror or actual vampire stuff. So like, I'm, writing high-end Muckin' Muck V5 stuff. And then I'm like, that's a dumb reference. And then I get to actually make it in this game. And that's so cool to me because so few games let that happen. Like most games really know like where their humor hits and where their seriousness hits.
Yep.
And this one, it's like, oh no, you want to make a really ridiculous pun like one paragraph in? Go for it. Go for it.
So what I cut from this, speaking of, there was this entire concept. So the original concept I had was creature from the Black Lagoon meets Swamp Thing.
Okay.
So it's the creature from the Red Lagoon because he's a plant monster, but he's also a communist. So he's a communist plant.
Oh no, he's a communist plant during McCarthyism.
Speaking of terrible puns.
Oh no.
You're welcome. Oh, and the cult? The cult was a red herring.
Of course it was a red herring. Of course it was a red herring.
Yeah.
I gotta give you points for that. Yeah.
Oh, pun jail emote. Yes.
There's gonna be no commie plants in my swamp.
Yeah. But so I was just like, I was like, no, I can't interrupt all this glorious roleplay and amazing just character development. And
which, like,
crying because I'm laughing so hard. So I was just like, I'm just gonna trim things from the end.
So you pruned it.
Yes.
I see that. I see that.
Someone already said that the cult was cultivating the commie plant in chat.
Oh, God.
Cultivating?
Cultivating. God.
Ian, you did a really good job kind of rolling with the musicality of everything too. Like, knowing when to kind of like pick it back up.
Yeah.
Like it was seamless. That was some fucking
Mm-hmm.
choice directing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't like interrupting, especially in a convention game where you are on a time crunch and people, they're not going to come back and play another one unless they're some of the people who have joined the Gehenna Gaming community who try to play the same game 4 times at a single convention. Looking at you, Kayla. Anyway,
yeah,
you have to let the players run the game.
Yeah,
because that's what's going to
100%.
make it memorable for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to interrupt you and stop the magic that's happening.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that, like, especially in because it's improv, and even if people don't have, if you're at the table, you don't have to have performance experience or anything like that, but you don't want to poop on people's Wheaties. You don't want to yuck anybody's yums. You don't want to get in the way of that because that can just deflate a table faster than anything. And your ability to pick up on that and also just to kind of like trim the fat of what you already had planned to kind of get down to the skeleton of it and then letting your players sort of fill in the rest of it around it. Just fucking choice.
Thank you.
Well done. Yeah. That was absolutely, that was great.
Yeah, like I could have riffed with Jacob and Giuseppe forever. Like I just watched them riff forever and ever and ever.
Yeah,
and would not have been upset. Like having a great time.
Yeah.
There was a certain point where I was like, before we took the break, where I was like, I don't really want to stop because this will just keep going for 3 hours. But then I was thinking like, but people do also want to see a story.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. And let me calm down for 5 seconds and stop laughing.
I feel
so
like
much.
Jacob's journey was a whole story.
It
on
was.
Its own.
I feel like that became the story.
well, that reminds me of like so many like B horror movies, not even from the 50s, but from like the 70s or 80s, where like you have a writer that has a script and he holds it up to Hollywood and he's like, "This is it. This is it," or whoever it may be. "This is it. I have found the human condition and I have contained it within these 201 pages. And I'm going to bring it to Hollywood." And Hollywood's like, "Could you put like a giant robot spider in it?"
Isn't
and then
that
they're
what
like,
happened with Wild Wild West?
Wild West, exactly. The writer, there's 2 writers. One of them really wanted to tell like a heartfelt story about finding your own self and being in like the Wild West and being a black cowboy. And the other
I
one,
saw the Kevin Smith special from like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember the story.
Yeah. And then the other writer just wanted a giant mechanical spider. And sometimes you marry the two. You get both. But yeah, like most 50B horror movies, they have a plot that's like off the wall. That's about like some person finding themselves but then also we've gotta sell it to the horror and sci-fi community. So let's put some spacemen in that real quick.
That's part of what I love about this game, though, is that like when you get into your characters, you have these various motivations and backgrounds and things. And so like if this hadn't been about y'all for whatever reason, and it was about me and Dr. Yen going off to find the Antarctic Primrose, which was on my sheet. Like it would have been a whole different story, but it would have still been a seed that was there that didn't get dropped, which I like.
And I definitely want to see that too. I want to see that in the future. Take notes, Ian. I want to see a Dr. Yin fucking Captain Zephyrum special of the Antarctic Primrose.
That would be cool. That'd be really
if
cool.
I don't have my crew, like who am I even? Like I've got to have Buck and Giuseppe.
Hey, Giuseppe's got brothers and sisters, you know?
Also, now y'all have a whole lot of book money, so you can just come back and fund that to like thank me for the times I took you under my wing.
Buy Captain Zephyrum one of the icebreakers that can go down to Antarctica.
Yeah.
All right, my friends. I do not mean to interrupt or cut this party short, but I need to go to bed.
You have had a long day.
You have a long day.
Yeah.
Big mood.
Yeah. Well, I am leaving 5 minutes early.
Isn't it like 8 p.m. or like 9 p.m. your time?
Yes. But this is yes, it is.
I feel
shall not be
very
shamed
young
into
right
wanting to
now.
go to
Thank you,
bed.
Jacob. No,
You're welcome.
like please go to bed, but also leave me with the like pump up of feeling very young and like
self-care is important. Self-care is important.
Self-care is
like
important.
sleep whenever you
Jacob,
want.
did you want to do like a sign off for the people who like jumped in, where they can find you and stuff like that, real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super quick. Just your handle.
And then
where you do, and then you can bounce.
And then we can go to bed.
Yeah, go to bed, Jacob.
Why don't we all do that?
We can all do it. Then we go to bed.
That sounds good. Why don't we all do that?
Okay.
So my name is Jacob Burgess. I am a voice actor, a games writer for both video games and tabletop. I'm the director of operations for an indie game company called Yizbert Games. We just announced our new game, No Place for Bravery, this evening.
So good.
So good.
Yep. Fucking right.
Yes, I got your congratulations.
Congratulations.
Definitely go and check that out.
Yeah.
The music is going to blow your goddamn mind. It's absolutely fantastic. Come and join our Discord, discord.gg/Yizbert Games. Follow me on Twitter. I do fun stuff. I like you very much.
He's Jacob Burgess VO. He didn't say that,
Yes.
but I thought I would throw that out there.
This man deserves some eggs and peanut butter.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
I'm making the peanut butter and egg quiche next week.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm making peanut butter bread as well in my bread maker.
Ooh.
I made some with instant coffee. That was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I want to hear all your pitches.
Okay. Wes?
Hi there, I'm Wes, or Brother Wes on the internet. You can find me on Twitter at BrotherXWes or at ComfortCarrion. Either one's fine. You can go follow both of them right now. It doesn't cost you a thing. I do a Twitch stream every Wednesday and Saturday that starts at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. Pacific, depending on where you're at in the continental United States. We cover horror, tabletop, storytelling, what have you. And I would love for you to follow. If not, that's okay, but talk to me. I'm there. I'm on the internet. And that's about me.
It doesn't cost you
No money. No money.
Oh, you brilliant man.
What did Mark yell at me for saying the other day? You can find it where podcasts are all podcasts are purchased, and he was like, podcasts are free, and I was like, that's the joke.
Yeah, that's the joke. Thanks for making me explain it. Oh boy.
Oh, thank you. Meredith?
Hi, I'm Meredith Gerber. You can find me on the internets on Twitter at Meredith Gerber. Same handle as my Twitch. It's late. Same handle as my Twitch. I work for DriveThruRPG. I freelance for Onyx Path, and I work for Isperid as well for social media coordinator. I also dropped the No Place for Bravery trailer in the chat if you'd like to check it. If you miss it, you can check it out at Twitter at Yizbert Games. You can also see it on our YouTube as well. And my freelance photography and graphic design stuff is at www.meredithgerber.com.
And it is fantastic.
Thank you, Jacob.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
it is.
Yes.
Meredith made the wonderful and fantastic OnyxPathCon.com site.
Yep.
Yes,
And
with you and Mark.
Yes,
Yep.
with us.
And before we started working together, I hired you to do my website.
Yep.
Yep.
What's your website, Jacob?
It's at makewordshappen.com. It's beautiful. You should go look at it. Meredith made it.
Oh.
You can also call her, hire her.
Yeah.
Don't call her.
Don't call her.
That's
Well, don't call her.
Don't call me on the phone.
But tweet or email.
Don't call any of us.
Proper. Yeah, don't call.
Yeah, please don't call
Who
me.
calls? It's
I don't
2020.
answer
Who calls
anyway.
anymore?
If I'm gonna call Meredith, I text her beforehand and say like, when can I call you? And the next day.
I think my
And then we
voicemail
work it
says
out.
that too. My voicemail's like, it's 2020. Don't call me. Just
Yeah,
text me.
don't fucking call us.
I think mine actually says I'm not going to listen to this, but go ahead and leave a message.
Dixie.
Dixie.
Me.
Yeah.
Hello. So I work at Onyx Path Publishing, obviously. I edit for this brand, but you can find me at Dixie Cyanide on most social media, and my website, also made by Meredith, because we're all Meredith stands here, is DixieCochran.com. I will say that I've been watching the charities, and we have hit our funding target for Bodhana Group, but we are still about $135 away from the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. That's a really important college fund. It does scholarships for like historically Black colleges. It helps a lot of people out. We are so close, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it in the next 15-20 minutes, and I'm gonna say that anything that happens by 12:15 I'm gonna match.
Hell yes.
So if anybody wants to donate to that, even if it's $5, $10, $15, whatever, I haven't done a donation yet to our charity, so I'm happy to do it now. I keep opening the window on my computer and my PayPal thing won't load, and then I'm like, I gotta wait till I have my credit card in front of me. It's a whole thing. But I would like to contribute, and so if anybody wants to make their donation count for double in the next 15 minutes by 12:15 my time, I will match that unless it's like $5,000. I have a within reason clause because I'm not rich.
How about we triple that? I'll do the same thing.
Yeah, I'll throw in too. We'll quadruple it.
Okay.
I love all of
Same.
you. So it's at 865 right now while I'm talking. So anything over 865 in the next little bit here, you're gonna get matched. Once again, if it's $5,000, thank you so much, but we're very poor. But if it's within $100, I'm happy to match that.
100%. I'm down for that too.
Yep.
So you get 15 minutes to do that.
If somebody
thing.
donates
wanna check it.
$5,000, I'll find the money.
You might want to check it.
Jacob.
I will check it.
What is it at?
Okay, so right now on my screen it says 865, but I'm gonna have to just.
But it was
wait.
still loading on mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, is
I'm
that what
working
you're
on
saying?
Oh shit! Look at that, 9:15. All right. So as soon
right.
as we log off here, I will donate my extra cash.
Yes. And just because Onyx Path Virtual Gaming Convention, I will screw that up because it's Onyx Path Con, is going on tomorrow, 12 to midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Dixie, where can people find you tomorrow as part of Onyx
Oh
Path Con?
God. I'll be in the audience for a lot of them. The only panel I'm on tomorrow is I think the 4 p.m. They came from Beyond the Grave.
Yes.
So it's a completely unreleased game. No one's seen it, not considered anything else. That is the game we play tonight. Came Beneath the Sea, but it's our 1970s and 19th century horror version. It bounces back and forth. I'm playing a hunter. I intend to be very like vampires killed by parents, and I will kill all of them kind of character. We've got a few folks in that are super cool. We've got B. Dave Walters playing in that one.
Yes,
Awesome.
you do.
Cool.
That's very exciting.
So I've not played that. I wrote about 12,000 words on it, 10,000 words. And so I'm excited to get to actually go in and run through the Hammer Horror Amicus kind of game.
That one's going to be really fun. I believe Rich is also playing in it.
Oh yeah, Rich is playing our professor type character.
And I'm playing in it, so...
Yes, you are.
Are you the raconteur?
No, I am the mystic.
Oh, right.
That'll be fun.
There's
I
one
believe
more person, and I forgot who, and I feel bad.
B. Dave is playing the
I love you
raconteur.
all so much. I would like to go to bed.
Yes.
Yes, let
So,
Jacob go to bed.
fine.
now that we've talked about what's going
Fine.
on tomorrow, make sure you tune in for all of those fantastic things. Thank you for tuning in this evening. You've been wonderful. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.